the master of the buy. With my wisdom and experience, I'm setting the pace, turning yard sale, junk into gold and in the race.
Oh, dear God, save me.
Damn, I'm lost
See
this
it
morning.
twice.
Steve made us late this morning, so everybody, I apologize on Steve's behalf.
I did no such thing.
Where did Todd go?
Uh,
Oh,
He's in the
I don't
back.
know.
Oh, he's in the bottom.
Todd's a loser. I don't know where Todd. I told Todd if he went out again, I would not let him back in.
He's trying to get his volume. He doesn't think y'all can hear him, I think.
I could hear him, and he was taunting me, and therefore he's not loud. You're lucky I saw how ugly you were, Todd. I felt sorry for you, so I'll give you one more chance.
Oh yeah, you had to see him in real life.
Oh, yeah. So for those of y'all who saw Todd in person, and Tom, I feel sorry for y'all.
Y'all kiss my ass.
Folks, if y'all think that the morning show between me, Tom, and Todd is a little insanity, you missed the live version.
The real life version.
I enjoyed talking with these guys. Jake spent a lot more time with them because he was their personal butler, chauffeur.
He was Hoke.
Um,
He was driving Mr. Scott. I mean,
he was
Mr.
driving. He was
Todd.
driving to two Miss Daisies.
That's right.
I'm telling you, folks, if you got a chance to do these meetups and meet people in person, it is so much fun. And don't give Todd a couple of drinks because he never shuts up.
Yeah, as soon as they announce the dates for next year, y'all need to go ahead and get that on your schedule because I really
That's a
enjoy
good
it.
hotel.
Hey,
Pardon me?
Mary, good morning. Saw Jack as well. It's Jack, Brian, whatever the hell you want to call yourself. It's good to see you. That's confusing as hell, by the way. For somebody as simple minded as me, Jack, why can't you just be Brian's treasures? So Scan of Freedom's got a Whatnot show, and Steve both have them today. I was supposed to have one, but I sucked. So
You forgot to do all the pre-work.
yeah, I forgot that. So
We're going to be doing one of these mugs on the show today. This is normally anywhere from an $80 to $100 mug today. So it's Paris. So make sure you join us at noon Eastern.
Mine's just
But
closed.
it was-
Men's closed today at 1:00. So
Awesome.
it was such a good time.
Really nice stuff.
So y'all know one of my according to Joni, Jennifer's my work wife. That's what she generally refers to her as. Are you having fun with your work wife? Because Jennifer and I talk so much. She's just a great individual. So I'm glad y'all got to meet her in person. She's a lot of fun. It's good. I told her when I first saw her Friday, I'm like, I'm so glad I can hang up the headphones for a couple of days. I don't have to talk in a damn headphone for the next, because we'll both be shipping it, and I'll end up talking to her for like 3 hours. But yeah, so it was met. I'm not the most social person, so I did meet a few new people, so that was pretty cool. Glenn as well. We ended up not having anybody in the fourth seat, so it just happened to be me and the two wives. Me and the concubine went through the yard sales, and it was a good thing. If you saw the video yesterday, I don't know if that chair you can see in the dark. The video of everything I've already made. It'll come out tomorrow. That bench seat was the first thing I picked up, and that seat had to come up against mine. And then about 20 minutes later, the ladder came, and that 8-foot ladder was up against that seat. So yeah, the seats are coming out of the van today. I can't stand the seats.
You never have seats in there. What happened? Oh, you did. You put them in there just for the weekend.
Yeah, just with Asher. Phil, what's up, man? I missed you there. I wish you could have been there, Phil. I'd love to see you again. It's been a while, Phil. Yeah, no
He's a
room in
good
the
dude.
back.
Yeah.
And if y'all met my buddy Joe, Joe is just an outstanding individual. So we met Joe through YouTube. He actually met Harlan first through, I guess, through seeing him on the show or talk at Van Massey the auction, and then there was a time before I went every week. I was covering Harlan's tables for like 3 months. There was something up, and I can't remember what the reason was. Oh wait a minute, he was getting divorced. I think that's why I was covering his table. But and then met Joe through the show, and so Joe was with us last night. Uh, Joe drives a Honda Accord, and when I tell you he covered every inch of this damn car with yard sale stuff, it was on the front dash, it was in the back window. That car is still full. Last night when he came to dinner, I'm like, Joe, you got another car. Why are you driving? Oh, this one gets better gas mileage.
Not with all that crap in there.
So he drives about 40 miles over here to eat with us. So that's dedication to the guys. Because he works a full time job as well. Joe's outstanding.
Joe
And
was quite interesting. He's
I
fun.
give Joe a hard time.
I can tell.
Joe needs knee surgery, so I give Joe a hard time. Hey, Spam, good morning, Spam. I'm sure Primo's around somewhere. But they are just blessed to have great friends that I've met through the internet, and it's fun when all that comes together in one place. Yeah, Timothy, I had the topper. I didn't feel the van. It was just such big stuff. It was like I say in the video tomorrow. It's just kind of average stuff. Nothing is outstanding that I picked up. Probably the best thing I picked up was that. There's a Bose 321 system. Okay, so here's the best negotiation I ever had at a yard sale. I said, "Hey, buddy, how much is your Bose stereo system?" He goes, $25, but my bottom dollar is 15. I'm like, okay, I'll give you 15.
We got people like that doing that on Facebook here. They'll say on Facebook, $20, but I won't go any lower than 12.
That's what he said. My bottom dollar is 15. I won't go any lower. I'm like, okay, 15.
$20
That's
the
actually a
best
good
offer.
strategy.
Yeah, it is if you're not selling a Bose. You know?
But I mean, I'm just saying, it's like, well, he knows what he's got to have out of it, you know?
That's a $23, $24 remote sitting on top of it. Even if it did, I asked the guy, does it work? He goes, oh yeah, it works. He did not lie. It works great. The speakers, I've got one. I've got that exact one. It's the 321 Series 2. I've got it powered out right now with the big subwoofer at Van Massey and the rest of it on eBay. But this one, I think I'm just gonna go ahead and ship the whole thing. See, I need to measure that subwoofer to see how big it really is and what box is going to go into. Because I don't think I'm getting money for the subwoofer, so I'm gonna try to. Maybe what I'll do is I'll put the subwoofer in there, wrap it up, and then I will box the unit inside of a box inside of the box to protect it. But folks, I'm telling you, just outstanding fun. So me and Joni got out at one yard sale, one, and she was proud of herself for getting out at once. For those who don't know, her ankle is still swollen. By the time she got back from eating lunch with us, her shoe, her ankle was over her shoe, and then she couldn't she took it off to take a nap, and she couldn't put her shoe back on the rest of the day. So, so for those of you who got to see Joni barely, oh my God! And then we decided Saturday night, me, Joe, Jennifer, and Joni decided, or just me, Joe, and Jennifer decided on the way back from the arcade, which was a really cool spot.
Yeah.
The arcade was, man, there had a lot of free games, and then you go outside and there's bigger games that were free, but there's a huge meeting area for people to talk. So that was a cool place, and so we decided we are gonna grab Waffle House on our way in. Do not get the chili. Okay, so the last text I would now not it's not the last one anymore, but Jennifer, bathroom trip number 400. I woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning going, "Oh God, I'm having a colonoscopy."
Well,
And before I left, a couple more times, stop on the way home. As soon as I get home, it was terrible. Until I finally took some Imodium to shut that thing down. Buck Mountain Barn, Chris has been banned because Chris chose to go on vacation with his wife instead of coming to see us. So that's why Chris didn't get a link today, because he sucks.
I did the same thing.
Okay, so I can fix that. Shit.
Jameis, Jake did. Todd and I paid for Jake's gas while he drove us around
In the electric
Hey, I'm
car.
back.
in the electric car.
All right. So for those who don't know, Chris's wife, I think knee surgery or some kind of surgery she's got coming up. So because he was taking care of his wife, he was given a pass. I guess I'm gonna have to drive to South Carolina if I want to meet Chris, which that might happen sooner than later. Once Jennifer gets settled into her new house, me and Johnny will make a trip over there. I want to go to all the flea markets over there during the week. They've got a Monday flea market, a Tuesday flea market, a Wednesday, and a Thursday. That she goes
Wednesday
through.
one, if it's the one I'm thinking. Man, that thing is.
The Wednesday's Pickens,
Yeah, that place is huge.
and it's her back. Okay, I couldn't remember, and that's another reason why you get a pass, because my wife has had 4 back surgeries. So, dude, I feel for you. I hope they take care of her. Johnny's degenerative back. She is. If you're a praying person, say a little prayer for Johnny this morning. She's getting her PET scans today to make sure the cancer is not back. She's not ready. She does every 6 months. Doc said he'd do it as long as she said it, and she's getting close to going every year. The problem is her partner that does Thursdays with her, which she will have the CAT scan. She's getting the B12 shot, and then she's going to volunteer, and then she comes home. So she's got a full day over there. Her partner that volunteers with her had the same cancer Johnny had, and it came back on her in her bones and some of her organs, and so that scares Johnny to death. And so she has continued to do every 6 months, even though they were a little different. So Johnny had no cancer in the lymph nodes, and they got it all. They got it. He got it all. That's why she did the double mastectomy, if you are not aware, just so there'll be little to no chance. There's no breast tissue left. Hey, Chastity, good morning.
Chastity.
Meeting Chastity. I talked to Chastity for quite a little bit. Chastity is a neat individual.
She is.
That was one of the better things, Chastity. Getting to meet you, I absolutely enjoyed that, Chastity. So, and me not being Mr. Social, but a lot of poop talk. Yeah, there was a lot of pooping going on, Spam. Ooh, and yeah, Mary. So Johnny had triple negative breast cancer, and the scary thing about triple negative breast cancer, for those of you who don't follow breast cancer until it happens to you, which is what most people, it's the one that has no hormone control or no anything. It just shows up, and it's the most aggressive, fast. So whenever, even though Johnny called it so early and no lymph node involvement, they still called it stage 3A or 3B. So if you get triple negative, there is no stage 1 triple negative. That's why you knew you had to approach. I told y'all, Chastity. I'm so thankful you did. I think I was standing there, and she said hello, and I'm like, Tom, you're not gonna believe who this is. Because Tom was standing right there beside me. I think that's what it.
Yeah.
Chris says son-in-law's mom just passed away. Triple negative is not a beast that you mess with, because it is the most aggressive form of breast cancer that I'm aware of. I could be wrong, but it's the one that it kills a lot of people, because you don't. Other than Johnny we were on vacation with Jason, Jessica, and Dusty and Tristan in upstate New York. Beautiful place, man. Where's the liquor bottles right here somewhere? And Johnny's like, my right breast hurts, and she could barely feel a little lump, and so she came home and got an immediate scan. What she shows, I mean, everything was in her favor. She got there, and the tech was a wonderful lady who says, they ordered the wrong tech. This ain't gonna show nothing. You need a diagnostic mammogram. You don't need this and this. And she really got in touch with the doctors and carried on, and would not do the wrong test, and and didn't and got enough people contacted till they got the right one, found what they found, and then on top of the surgeon that took everything out, and the surgeons, we're just very blessed. Our cancer doctor, McGee, that's a wonderful man. She's got 17 doctors, and I throw a lot of them away. Not only is he a good doctor, he's an outstanding individual. Someone who cares deeply for every patient, no matter who they are. He'll tell you that right off the start. He says, I hate cancer so much. I don't care who it is. He says, if it could be somebody who's unfortunate to be homeless, living, or it could be my mother, you're getting the same treatment. And that's the guy you want, that hates it so bad that, and I mean, he was literally in tears to tell Johnny I'm gonna have to break you down and hurt you so bad to kill this. And I don't want to do it, but it's the only way. I mean, that's the caring and compassion this guy has. So McGee he's way up there in my book of outstanding individuals. I hope so, like I absolutely hope so. But man, Nashville, I picked up the normal stuff: coffee makers, Keurigs, drills. Nothing. Todd, did they charge you extra to get your suitcase on the plane?
It was tough. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay. I came on here and the volume that I'm hearing was turned all the way down to 0. I thought, what the hell's going on?
Spam, you want to hear something, Spam, that is a very disturbing. The one thing, all you got was a crappy watch. I know, Goose, right? And then they took your rental car and drove you around in it like you didn't even want to drive. So Spam, here's something that is very interesting that we've seen so many. And Joni now volunteers every week, and she used to do it every 2 weeks, every twice a week. You can't believe the amount of couples that break up. They're going through this, and then once they get through it, they break up. I don't understand that.
Any kind of catastrophic illness, we've heard the same thing with people that's going through liver transplants and kidney transplants, all that kind of stuff, because it never ends.
Dude, I didn't fight like hell to keep her around and let her go. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Just
Every 3 months, Roberta has to go in and get blood draws. She takes a fistful of pills every day, and she will do that till the day she passes. And that's probably the same way Joni is. She's probably going to be taking her meds for the rest of her life.
oh, and
Chris, did they charge you to charge the car back up when you got back to the airport? I was curious about that.
Man, I had to sit on that suitcase to get it to close.
Damn, it should have compressed.
It was.
Good morning, Gordon.
Hey, Sue.
for those of you who don't know, we had a surprise guest in Nashville. She decided Thursday she was going on Friday.
Yeah, I wish I had known.
Wonderful to see Sue out. When I tell you she's one of my absolute favorite people I've met recently, I'm not lying to you. She's a great individual. And Matt, John, we were on the way up there, and Johnny goes, "There's a surprise guest." I'm like, "What do you mean there's a surprise guest?" I'm like, "Who the hell does Joni talk to in the reseller world?" She goes, "We've had dinner with him last." I'm like, "That's Sue."
I'm gonna tell you what. The best thing about that, besides meeting the people, is that daggone restaurant we ate at.
Yep.
Monell's is pretty good. So if you make it to Nashville, Monell's is a family-style restaurant in downtown Nashville. They seat 16 or 17 to a table. You're just with a bunch of strangers, and it's passed around family. So we were there earlier than you guys. So we got the breakfast, the brunch. So we got the eggs, pancakes, French toast, chicken, fried chicken, bacon.
That all looked really good too.
It was good.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Todd and I ate there twice.
And I saved up, and it all came out in the Dallas-Fort Worth Airport restroom.
Couldn't even make it home with it.
all in one big. Mm-hmm.
Well, at
If
least
you
you
did-
didn't have to spend all your time in the plane in a certain room.
Yeah.
You need to. You definitely need to practice handicap stalls for that kind of stuff, so you can hold on to the handles.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, Sue, I'm glad you came too. I knew who you were when I looked over there and saw you standing there.
Yeah, I
So,
was glad I had my suitcase in that toilet stall with me because I was afraid I was going to need a fresh set of undies.
Not getting there fast enough, you mean? Yeah, it was great to see everybody.
yeah,
I'm
Mary,
until
it
I get
is
to
a
know
little,
you.
it is a little overwhelming. There's so many folks here, so I only talked to Paul Philly Flipper for a couple minutes. He evidently has the video out. Well, he had a great yard sale, and people recognized him, and he got a private pic. So check out Paul Philly Flipper's video. I'm sure I'm gonna watch it
Did you
sometime today.
did you see him pick up Kevin at the rally?
Oh yeah, I spent a lot of time talking to Kevin Commonwealth Picker. I pick on him a lot in my videos and talk a lot about. Dude,
Uh,
I respect
sorry,
that
Sue.
dude immensely. That is a smart individual. He's a kind person, but he's very thoughtful.
He's
So
he,
I talked to him for quite a bit. I enjoy talking to Kevin.
he's not he's not big as a big good load of washing.
No,
He
he's what's he about 5'2", 5'3", 5'4".
Yeah. Good morning,
yeah,
Scott.
Paul walked up behind
You won't be-
Kevin and picked him up, bar stool and everything, and just wagged him around for a little bit. That was hilarious.
But so we're trying to. Paul, not Paul, but Ray Nashville Flippers. Man, Ray, we can't tell you how thankful that you did this, man, because it's not easy to organize. I told him next year he needs to do Thursday. It goes way too fast. You know, it needs to be organize it where optional something on Friday because
Yeah, a lot of people got to travel on Sunday too and miss out on that stuff.
Yeah, but that would give people the option. If they can still only do 3 days, they could.
Right.
You know, in some cases, people could maybe do an extra day early.
it does get overwhelming, Mary. And then it's folks like I never met Tom and Todd, so you want to see them. I talk to Jacob a lot, so you want to talk to the people that you interact a lot with, but don't see in person a lot.
Yeah.
That makes it harder to see other folks.
I was standing in that hotel lobby Friday just chatting away with somebody, and I whap upside my head. Somebody slapped me. Turn around, his beard.
Yeah, when I was checking in, I was standing there, checking in at the counter, and I turned and looked, and here comes Beard sashaying up the daggum hallway like he owns the place.
I did.
Yeah, did you see that picture Kevin wanted with me?
Yeah, I saw that one. Somebody posted it.
Did y'all see the picture that Joe bought for me? Well, he picked it up. I bought it from him. The devil's lettuce only $4.20 a gram. So I gotta hang it up in here somewhere.
Oh, there you go, Todd.
Just the hands.
Just the hands. And the goatee.
Wait, you have 2 hands?
Chris and I were trying to buy a G-Shock watch, and Todd just took it out of our hands.
Oh, these all day long Saturday, these guys are just walking past $50 and $100 bills just sitting there, and I'm going, why didn't you buy that? Oh, okay, I'll buy it. Then
Well,
I
it
had
comes
to
down- it comes
talk
down to
Glenn into buying some things because I didn't have room in my suitcase for him.
And Glenn drove, yeah. Glenn drove his truck there.
It wasn't a truck. You got in a car, I thought.
Glenn kept saying, "Oh, I've got a whole bunch of stuff I already have to list." I was, Glenn, it's $100. You're not going to take it?
He was driving a Subaru Outback or one of those
Yeah,
Outlander or whatever.
Yeah.
out back. He said that was his mom's car because His
That's
truck
what he said, yeah.
didn't get as good a gas mileage.
And so I did get there with the key, everybody. So I want credit for that. We're not gonna talk about not having the GoPro because I'm still sensitive about that.
Just keeping you honest.
Damn it. But it was really, really a good time. So now I'm trying to set up my calendar. I'm really gonna yeah, Eric. Ain't nobody seen lag. We should put out a bounty on a picture of lag. What a picture of lag would be worth.
Lag was the 300-pound woman in the Hawaiian print muumuu with the beehive hairdo with the 3 kids hanging onto her tail of her skirt.
I missed that one.
That was Lag.
But the venue the middle night was pretty cool.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I had to talk Glenn into getting this because it wouldn't fit in my suitcase. $50 bill just sitting there. He said,
What is it? A Death Star?
no, it's a globe,
It's a globe.
but you shine light on it and it spins. But
That's a falsity.
I had to talk him into getting it. I said, Glenn, that's worth a lot of money.
Yeah, Glenn.
right.
Just when they finally come out and tell you that everything's flat, it's really gonna be worth a lot of money
Sure,
for all
man.
the people they fool with that shit.
Wouldn't the flat ones be worth money because there's less of them?
Do some
Yeah.
do some research on maps of the North Pole if y'all think I'm
There you go,
nuts.
there's a flat one.
Do some research on maps of the North Pole. Have y'all seen that? How all of a sudden, how from the 1500s, how there were islands up there, and it's got a black stone in the middle of it. That's probably what triggers everything north. And a magnetic. They're thinking that's where the magnet. And then slowly, 1600s, it's still there. 1700s, a couple of them disappear. And now we're supposed to believe it's just ice up there and nothing else because they don't want you to go up there.
There's a plate of Mardell's food.
Monell's.
Or Monell's food. Yeah.
It's some good home style country cooking.
Um,
There wasn't anything bad on their menu. It was all good.
Yeah.
Yep. So
They didn't have bellhops, Mr. Sadie, not at our
There was
hotels.
and there was people from all different reselling. So I met just briefly met and saw Jennifer talked to her way more than I did. A young lady named Cassandra. She's a big whatnot seller. There were quite a few whatnot sellers there. I met well, I'd already met him before, but I saw Beard Queen Picker Alex. He was kicked back to queen status yesterday.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
There's a group
Yes.
picture.
Oh, Sue, how did he like his biscuits?
Yeah, there's 200 people all there gathered and taking a picture.
No, Chris, I'm not busy. What's up?
I'm right there.
I'm that one right down there at the front on the left side. Yeah.
I am about 900 miles away. I can't
And
tell
I'm
you
up
see
there
me.
on the right-hand side.
Tom's over here.
Hold on. Now I got to find out how far Nashville is from here.
Go,
Hey,
Todd.
Siri.
Beard
show-
got hit, and all
How far
we
is
saw was
Nashville?
the top half of Beard's head.
I know. I'm like right there. I'm right in front of Kevin.
586
You can
miles.
barely see me. How can Kevin be so short? Everybody can see him, and I'm taller than Kevin. You can't see me. What the hell?
You can't be that
Todd,
much
do you have
taller than
the
Kevin.
do you have the picture of Mr. Sadie's picture?
Y'all notice how Harlan gets right up front in them shorty shorts, right?
Yeah.
I went through all the pictures that Ray posted because I wasn't able to go, and I was living vicariously through the pictures, and I didn't see a single picture of you.
Oh, Lord.
I don't have Sadie's picture.
Somebody's buzzing.
You know the one I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know the one you're talking about, but I don't have it.
It's Chris. He's making all kinds of noise this morning.
I
You're
had to
supposed
go
to-
outside. She's in there vacuuming.
Oh,
You're supposed to be at the flea market. Pickens is wide open this morning.
It's our grandson's birthday, so we we're fixing to leave and go to Chuck E. Cheese and go to Greenville and all that with him. So
He could have
Dude,
been to
it's
Pickens
it's
and back already.
it's
Probably.
it's 9:30. You live like 2 miles from there. You're supposed to be there at dawn and go for an hour and come back. What you're not a reseller.
I didn't go the day. You're right. I didn't go
Yeah.
today.
Okay, everybody
I
in the
will.
chat put is Chris a quitter and not a reseller? Everybody put
No.
yes or no in the chat.
I got a serious question for you though.
I don't
So
do I don't do serious very well.
yeah, I know. I watched one of your videos last night.
Oh
I
shit.
think it's your latest ones, where you did a late night. It's like 11:30 or whatever, and you was selling Keurig parts. Is there a certain brand, like a certain model of those Keurig that you're selling a lot of, or is it just any?
Just Annie. So I was
People will
tearing them.
either break or they'll lose.
I was tearing them completely apart, but now I'm just selling the tanks and I've decided to quit tearing them all the way apart. Just because the storage and all that stuff is so hard, and so now I'm just so I can put a piece of. So I'm trying to. I know this is going to scare the hell out of you. I listed stuff the other day, and everything had a label and a location. That's scary enough as it is.
Is this the end of the world?
Wait, what?
But so I'm trying to mark all these parts with a model number and a location number on them, and so it's harder for little parts. I've got Ziploc bags I put things in, but I find, Chris, that the older machines do
Yeah.
better because they've had time to break down. The newer machines haven't had time
Manure.
to break. Yeah, the manure machines. Um,
You want to know how many manure machines I saw this weekend?
A lot of them, I'd say.
I bet.
I asked because I saw that and I was like, he broke that sucker all the way down and is just selling the little Keurig part that folds and closes with everything. And I see them things all the time, and I'm just like, I don't know what to do with them, and I saw that video last night and then my light bulb just went off in my head. I says, there it is.
but
I need to talk to him and find out what the deal
But
is.
it's not as easy, man. They make a mess. Every one of the heat containers is full of water that goes everywhere. I mean, you're investing. See, the things people don't realize is to tear one of the machines all the way down, you're investing 20, 25 minutes of your labor into these machines.
Right.
And so, like I made a spreadsheet of all the machines I have, and one of them I ended up with 7 of them of the same machine. And so that was a decision. Let's go ahead and break that one down, and then I'll break them down as I need part. Well, something happened in those machines, and they only want the bottom pump. So now I have had to tear them apart because I've sold all 7 bottom pumps. It makes no sense. That was the last one that I was shipping up. But
Well, it can't be no worse than breaking down a vacuum cleaner.
vacuums to me, the vacuums are easy. They're just
Really?
they're made to come apart for the most part.
Okay. All right.
Keurigs are a pain in the ass when you get inside. Once you get inside of them, yeah.
Okay.
But so here's my philosophy, folks. If it's true what they say about the empty ships and all this stuff, which I don't believe that they're going to send. Why the empty ships just might be
Right back
sent
to
out to
flat
harbor
Earth.
or whatever, but they're not sending the empty ships all the way over here because that's wasting a lot of. Do some research into how much fuel it takes to get one of them ships over here, and then go back and understand how a 747 jumbo jet can hold 30-some thousand pounds of 60,000 pounds of fuel in their wings. Okay, well, that's enough about that one, right? How the wings don't fall off. Don't tell me their ribs and all that shit on there. We're talking extended
here
weight.
we
My
go.
God, folks, wake up. I'm telling you, they are doing. And then you look at what JFK has uncovered. They're putting shit in gasoline. It's coming.
Todd, excuse me,
DARPA-
Scott. Stop.
DARPA is putting shit
I
in
want
the
you to start a
jet fuel.
channel that's nothing but conspiracy
telling you.
theories by Scott.
This ain't
You will be
conspiracy.
the richest YouTuber on the face of the
It's not
earth.
conspiracy if it's
He's
real.
got one, don't he?
JFK announced this the other day that
You mean
RFK announced this the other day that it was not coming from Health and Human Services. It was coming from the military. DARPA is putting this in jet fuel to control weather. This ain't hard.
The chemtrails. We've known about chemtrails for years, though.
Yeah. But yeah, Chris, it's people don't realize, and if you make one mistake, you've ruined the machine, and ruined parts in it. So it's hard to get them
Like the
out.
transition, it's just smooth.
It's you're investing a lot of labor. So I decided that I was just going to do tanks and cup holders and the pod holder, anything that I can get off in like a couple minutes.
Okay.
Um,
Tanks, cup holders, bottles, and then that little tray at the bottom. I know you
and
see
some of
some.
them there's an air pump. So each one of those machines has a water pump and an air pump.
Yeah.
And if I've got the water pump, it's only because I've taken that damn multi tool to it and just gone right down the side of it. Zoom.
Okay.
They are, yeah. If you're trying to take it apart, you know, the right way, it's going to take you forever. They're hard to get into. They're really
Chris,
hard to get into.
Chris, the flea markets is over in your neck of the woods. Jabus's neck of the woods.
He's
Chassie's neck
surrounded
of the
by
woods.
them. He don't take advantage of them. He's surrounded by them.
Are they full of dealers or are they more like junky stuff?
It's both.
So
Now the one over here at Pickens. So it has Pickens has two sides. You got a right side and a left side. If you go on the right side and stay out from underneath the cover and stay outside with all the tables, it's just like me loading my truck up and going down there selling stuff just to get rid of stuff. Now there are some dealers over there. When I say dealers, these are people that this is their living. This is what they
Right.
do. That's and it's not how would you say, it's not like Walmart brand.
That's not the Chinese guys that got all the
Yeah,
cheap tools. It's
yeah,
it's more
yeah.
it's true junker. It's true junkers.
Yeah, it's true junkers. I mean, now you do have a couple over there. I know one. His name's Cowboy. Now he buy lots of stuff. Like he bought a huge lot of NASCAR, so he brought it one Wednesday, and sold a bunch of NASCAR. Then the next time but he also brings his antique stuff like his cast iron and other stuff. And I've sat next to him, and he's made good money with that stuff, man.
But,
I've seen
but
people spend
you
four
know
and
the
$500 on one piece.
the
it's
guy I
it,
like it. The guy I like at Pickens, because I've only been there one time, but my sister lives real close, is the mailbox guy. He makes you know who I'm talking about? He makes
What
custom mailboxes. He made a
I don't.
Volkswagen bus mailbox. I wanted to
What
buy
is that,
so
Jake?
bad.
so
He's
Life's
under
only
he's
one
under the
Starbucks.
cover.
Yeah.
All he does is Starbucks. Come on. Listen, why are you asking
So do
where
you know,
it's
Steve? Do you know if he's on the right side or the left side?
He'd be on the left side.
Okay, you gotta see. So the left side has all them
That's
has
cool.
all them
Yeah.
covers over there. Now the right side has that one that goes way down, and then on the outside you
Yeah.
got all the open tables. When I go shop there on the right side where all the open tables, that's where I go because that's where you're gonna find the best deals. Now you can find
I
some
did
deals under
okay.
them covers,
Yeah.
but you're gonna find some. And if you wait till about this time, this part of the day. Now, granted, you've probably missed some good stuff, but if you wait till now to go, you're going to get better deals than you would have this morning because everybody's starting to pack up. What's it, about 10 o'clock, right? Everybody's starting to pack up because that place shuts down at 11, 12 o'clock. By 12
Yeah. It
o'clock, there's
was
nobody there.
I
so
got there around 8:30, I think, when I went, and they were already a lot shut down at that point because
Oh, yeah.
what's it open at 4:30 in the morning or something?
Yeah,
Like,
when I go to sell over there, I get over there at 4:30 in the morning. Is when
so
I
it's
get
good to
over
see
there.
Kimberly. She was with making Chris look all nice and everything. Um,
oh, we all got little hearts.
Yeah.
I like that. Thank you, Kimberly.
Jacob actually, Kimberly did not go. It's just you guys, right? In
She
the
went.
car?
She went
Clap.
in some places, but not on the Saturday yard sales.
Yeah.
Y'all were because I mean, folks, it
We wouldn't have had any room for anything if.
it was like a clown car. People were asking them how many dudes are getting out of this car.
Yeah, when you have five
Sounds
dudes
like a
rolling
clown
out of a
car.
Mercedes, you're like, what?
But hey,
Uh,
I gotta run, Scott, man. Hey, it's good seeing you guys. I'm sorry I missed you guys this weekend, man. I just told Tammy, I says, man, I wish we could have went because I'm hearing all the stories, seeing all the pictures,
But
and y'all
there'll
look like
be
y'all had a really, really good time, man.
there'll be more, Chris. You take care of her. There'll be
Oh
more.
yeah, yeah. That's what I told her. I said, and she was like, well, don't. She says, well, I feel bad. I says, don't feel bad. There'll be something else. I'm sure it
She's
comes
got
up.
she's got a year to get better for the next one. So we're
Yep, yep, yeah, yeah, yeah. So hey, you guys have a good one. We'll see you. Hey, tomorrow night, we'll see you tomorrow night. You guys come by the channel.
Bye,
Oh
Chris.
yeah, I gotta harass somebody.
See y'all later. Scott, you'll have to kick me off. I don't know how to get off all this phone.
All right, I enjoyed that part. See you, Chris.
Yeah.
Oh, he's still there in the background.
I know.
Yeah.
I
You
gotta.
kick him off.
You gotta kick them all the way out then.
What are you talking about?
There you
That's
go.
all right.
Bye bye.
Here you go, Tom. You like spider webs?
And
Oh, I have-
it really is truly seeing old friends, and it is.
I have a question for
Cool.
you, Jake, while I'm thinking about it. Starbucks made a series of tumblers that look like that, but they have Disney characters on them.
Yep.
I'm sure you're familiar. Are
Yes.
the Disney characters decals, or are they actually screen printed on the cup?
As far as
'Cause
I
I
know,
have-
everything's screen printed. If they're
Okay,
legitimate,
because
they
I
can-
have one that has Tinkerbell on it, but I couldn't find a similar one, and here it's a sticker. It's not, so it's probably not real.
So Steve, if
It looks like them.
you
but
probably
it's
know
not.
already, but any of those Disney collabs are generally worth more money than regular ones.
Right.
Right, and that's why
Look on
I
Facebook
picked it up.
Marketplace for the Disney ones.
Yep.
There's a set of Disney mugs. Is there 4 of them, Jacob? I think there's a set of 4 Disney mugs.
There
And
are.
people are wanting $400 and $500 for the set on
Yeah.
Facebook Marketplace.
Yep.
I picked it up because it had Disney and it had Starbucks. It was out of the Goodwill bin, so it
Do
cost
some
me
Google
nothing.
lensing on it. See if you can find some
I
additional
tried,
ones. Okay.
but
Mike-
there's a series with the tumblers with the characters on one
Mhm.
side and Starbucks on the other, and this
There
one
is.
she's definitely a decal.
Okay.
So I
I'd be
could
leery.
yeah.
It's amazing what I got for free this weekend. So I got the bench for free. I got the cat scratching post for free. I got the 2 bags of corks, which sell good at Van Massey for free. I might even run them on Whatnot, see if any of the crafters want those. I got this. The lady had a set of Pathfinder floor mats. And I'm like, what year model do these go to? She pointed at it. She goes, it's right there. It's a 2023. I'm like, good deal. 2023 mats. Floor mats, folks, sell really well. They're easy. People, I don't know if you're scared to ship them. They put them in a heavy duty contractor bag or something. I got something else for free. It was like 7 things I got for free. There was something with the floor mats. What did I pick up for free? And I said something, and Jennifer's like, what do you mean they're free? I'm like, there's a free sign right there. You walk right by the free pile. I'm picking up stuff in the free pile while she's buying
First
stuff.
thing I look at when I go to a yard sales, where's the free pile?
Yeah.
So she's at a flea market this morning. I think she's at Pickens. She screwed up royally, and I'll tell everybody she screwed up royally. She calls me on her way. I'm like, what did you end up renting? Because her Forerunner has 280,000 miles and needed tie rods, and there's no way she could drive it the 6.5 hours. And she's like, I rented this Nissan Kicks. I'm like, you rented a skateboard and a roller skate? And she's like, yeah,
That's even smaller than my
a Sienna would have been $100 more. I'm like, turn around and go get the Sienna.
That's what I told her.
She's like, oh yeah, you must talk to her right after that. She's like, no, I've been gone for about 30 minutes. I'm like, you don't understand. You need the Sienna for the room. So she just bought a new house, and there was 3 or 4 huge things that she would have bought for the house. Like there's this guy. Did y'all see the guy who had the lawnmower? It was a beautiful. It was a Husqvarna set. It was the other orange one. It was Echo. So it was a 58-volt lawnmower, weed eater, blower, edger, batteries, and chargers. He wanted $250, but he'd have taken $200. That's a $1,200 set of just the blower and charger alone are $300 new.
I don't think we got to that one because we only went to like 10 yard sales because Todd had to look through every shirt, every pair of pants.
So Todd, when we ran into y'all once, and Tom walks up and goes, "Oh my God, Todd looks at every damn thing."
I know. Hey Todd, when
Those
next time
other
you
guys, they were just walking past $50 bills. They didn't even look. They were
I
just,
am going to introduce Todd to Barry, Thrifty Santa, and those guys can go yard selling together. They'll make about 2.
It was.
Listen, the only thing that Jake bought, I put in his hands. Or did you buy anything besides the coffee mug?
Yeah, I bought the brand new faucet
Oh, that's
It was-
right.
Actually,
and the Nest thermostat, third gen.
It
Well,
was
don't worry.
actually
Jacob
uh,
got plenty of mugs from his sister.
Yep.
it was a dream crew to go picking with because Jake wasn't buying anything, Tom wasn't buying anything. Chris bought what, 2 things?
Oh no,
Yeah.
he bought a whole back seat of it.
Yeah,
Hmm.
he told me that I never saw him again. He's like, you need to come buy some of this stuff because I bought too much, and I somehow I missed him Saturday night.
I told Scott,
You
I
went to
told
the
Todd, and I told
walk
Chris
line.
that they just need to go ahead and cash in their return flight tickets, rent a car, and then just shop till they drop because then they can. Chris could drop Todd off in Dallas, and then he could continue on to Houston. Kimberly said her butt was going to be on that plane flying back. They could get on the back good.
So y'all got to meet my buddy Tracy.
Yep.
Tracy's
Tracy was with us.
Tracy's outstanding. And so I met Tracy through the show. He works at the airport right here on Mondays and Tuesdays. He's a retired firefighter. So whenever there's a couple more yard sales that we want to go to, a couple more areas, and then Huntsville kind of flounders out, and it's just regular yard sales. I think we're going to start once or twice a month. Me and Tracy just jumping in the van and going to Nashville leaving here like 4:30 a.m. getting up in Nashville and 6 o'clock and doing an area of Nashville each twice a month. Yes, Mike, that's exactly what it looked like. Todd had a bunch of bodyguards while he shopped.
No
right.
toothbrush holders. Mary, if you want to send me a link to y'all's site for the meetups and whatnot,
They were like
I'll share it on my channel.
oh, he wholesaled in the Commonwealth Saturday night. All right, I see how you are, Chris. I see how you are. You offer it to me and then pull the rug out from under me and give it to Kevin. I see how you are.
But yeah, they were just they
more
would
popular.
those guys that went with me, they wouldn't even look at stuff. So they missed this $75 motorcycle jacket. Just
Look at that.
Yeah, we barely went to that neighborhood you were in. When we ran into y'all, we kept going somewhere else.
That's the one we kept saying. If a bald-headed guy with a
Oh, it
beard
says right
comes
there.
up
Real
in a
leather.
red minivan, watch out for him because he'll try to Jew you down.
yeah.
$5.
Derogatory
You want
term.
$4 for that? Really? $3? That's just too much.
I've yard saled with Scott. I know he ain't that way.
Yeah, it's called Mike Metco Meetups. He's got a channel on YouTube as well, so check. Nice to talk to Mike. I'd met Mike once before. Just a generally good individual. Mike is he's a pleasure to talk to.
Yep.
And he's trying to go to a lot of these meetups and document a lot of them. And I think, Mary, aren't you his host on a lot of the things y'all do? You got to do something to pretty up Mike.
I gotta run, guys. I gotta go pick up one of my friends that's in town, and then finish getting ready for the Whatnot show at noon Eastern.
I hope they're
Okay.
not too
Noon
heavy.
Eastern.
I hope they're not too heavy. Don't hurt your back.
I got muffins.
He's got guns.
I know
I heard
he was carrying that lady in the wheelchair up those steps.
According to last night, David said he was still fat and old.
Okay, remember the joke is supposed to be that he said he was bigger than me. That was the joke.
Okay, you got there.
Yeah.
So Mary runs the socials and co-hosts.
Thank you, James.
And Mike runs the YouTube. I got you.
See you, Jake.
So many good people there.
Later.
Yeah. Be
Don't
careful.
worry, we can help him. Oh,
It's a
he
lot
helped
less
him.
noisy with Jake going.
Okay.
I know,
Jake's
right?
not here. Hopefully he's not listening.
He's
He's
listening.
listening.
All right.
Did y'all get a picture of Ken?
No, I got a picture with Burt Reynolds and Boss Hogg mixed together.
Okay.
Turns
Oh,
out,
yeah.
turns out it looks just like Ken. Yeah, I put when I was going through the van, the picture of Ken's still out there, so I put it in the video.
I missed that part. I fell asleep during the
I haven't made
video,
that. The video comes out tomorrow.
Well, see,
Oh,
that's what you
good.
need to do. You need to go online
I
and
watched.
start a line of trading cards for resellers. They used to. They
What's his
used.
name? James was trying that. James was doing that for a while.
Um,
I have a submission
you know, you can
somewhere.
go in and you can order your kid's baseball. That's like a baseball card, only it's him and his stats.
You can get it straight through Tops they're cheap too.
Are they?
Hmm.
So everybody can go around collecting people's baseball cards or reseller cards.
I have a couple around here somewhere. I don't know where they're at right now.
Yeah, I stayed for the Sunday worship service that Ray invited us to, and I went to Ray and said, "Hey, do you know anybody that could give me a ride to the church?" He said, "I will." So I had a good little talk with Ray going to church.
Ray's a good
Sunday
dude.
morning.
Absolutely, he's just a good hearted. He's enough. There's so that's the one thing, man. You don't meet people at these things and go, "Oh, that's an SOB." You meet so many kind, just great people.
Scott.
Except for Tom and Todd, I knew they were up that way. I'm like, damn it, I have to talk to them. But man, you know, what other meetups are you going to go to that Ray brings his pastor there Friday night to pray over the group and for everybody's safety and for man, just
There's my submission, by the way, Tom,
oh Lord.
or this one.
We got to see Jimmy as well, old school flips.
It was a lot of fun.
I didn't meet anybody who I thought, well, except for Alex Beard Queen, because he was still making fun of my beards not quite as long as back to talking about you had that's Jennifer.
So cool meeting Jennifer.
Yeah, she's sweet.
That person next to her,
Yeah, freaking Todd.
But you know, really, this business is I'm gonna call it the lonesome wolf business.
It is.
You're pretty much doing everything by yourself. When you resell it, except when you're reselling or when you're sourcing in a group like we were doing Saturday, you're pretty much doing all your sourcing on the down low. It was just really good to just be around other people.
So Alex, the thing that Alex is, I had cut this beard to nothing in December. I've damn near caught up with him in 4 months. Alex's beard just goes scraggly, folks. When I'm back to the monster beard down to here again, we will taunt Alex like there's no tomorrow.
See, I told
the
you
end of
Jake
the
was
summer.
still listening.
By the end of the summer, we will taunt Alex like there's no tomorrow.
Okay, Jake was chauffeuring us around, and he's a good driver. But I'm gonna tell you what, I had a couple of moments where I was grabbing the sucker bar, whatever you call it, and slamming on brakes. But I'm gonna tell you what, that Mercedes has a dadgum great backwards brakes on it, because this idiot pulled around and behind us, and that sucker hit the brakes before Jake even hit the brakes.
I could tell you, if you want to feel safer next time, ride around with Scott. You'll be fine.
No, I don't know if my nerves can take it or not.
Johnny's like, she's like, you're shaking me all around. You got to go slower. I'm like,
but Jake did a great job. I just felt like sometimes I'd have these, like he's a 16-year-old learning how to drive moments. They're stopping.
My wife's son needed to learn how to drive stick shift because he sold his other car because there was some issues with it, and he has a stick, but he never learned to drive. So I took him down to the parking lot, the big old Kmart parking lot, and taught him. And I forgot that he wasn't a 16-year-old, kid. So he's zooming around that parking. He learned real quick. He's zooming. It scared the hell out of me. Well, thank you, Landshark Picker, Craig, for following only us.
But he did a great job in that traffic in a car that he's not used to. I think he had more fun playing with the car, because I'm like, how do you turn the heat seats on? And he's like, that button over there.
yeah, he's a tech guy, so he loves that.
Most times I get in a car, unless I'm going to have it for a while, I don't even know where half the stuff is on it. Rental cars and whatnot. But he did a
Yeah,
great job.
he's very good with technology. It's I like those kind of things too. But once you do a lot of that kind of stuff, it kind of becomes second nature. You kind of figure out a lot of the same things are done the same way. So it's
I thought Kim was going to buy that thing and just drive it back, or have the boys drive it back.
Ray is the perfect name for him. He's sunshine. He is a. He pulls up in his truck. I'm like, dude, what year truck is that? Because me and Harlan, I have that exact same one as a 13. His was a. I'm like, you need to calm down with those big wheels. He's like, this is my baby. I've had it since 11. I'm like, I got the old man version. I got the cab on the back, the regular wheels. I do mess with Harlan because I'll like if Harlan every now and then will ride in the truck. I'm like, hey Harlan, does yours make this noise? And I'll stomp the V8 because he's only got a V6. He's like, no, it doesn't make that noise. Craig's World is the only stalker. All right.
Yeah, he had that big old red Ford pickup truck.
Yeah, y'all forget too that he does have that Sprinter, so the controls will be similar.
Oh,
Mercedes makes them both.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, because he was saying that the controls on the dash,
Yeah,
it's the same steering wheel.
yeah. My brother's got the same one. Jacob's got very similar.
He's a good boy.
Yeah, my brother posted on Facebook today. He did not the van, but he's in New York City yesterday. Somebody who makes videos. I don't know who he's with. Somebody with a I didn't recognize the guy. Somebody they do lobsters in New York City. That's him. That's my brother and his wife. The guy in the middle he moves like I think. What did my brother say? 80,000. We've watched him on YouTube, and he holds around 20,000 lobsters on hand and moves around 80,000 to local places. And yeah, he showed where they were in New York City. Yeah, but they're driving. They're that's the one they picked up. Is sister-in-law holding that damn lobster bigger. But yeah, they've got a diesel Jeep. That I think they don't pull it most of the time. I think most of the time she drives it, just because they've got so much weight on that Mercedes, the big Sprinter van. But that's an interesting way. So my brother, if y'all don't know, he's retired, disabled military, and so they still have military cards, so they can get on any base. And so most bases have a camping area, and if you don't need facilities, so they don't need electricity because they've got full solar and everything. It's usually like $10 a night, something very reasonable. That puts you in a very secure area because most of the time people aren't coming onto a military base to mess with you.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so.
They're on their way to Maine. And then where they're going, who knows? They went up Virginia Beach, and they caught the bridge up through Maryland and Delaware, and then now through New Jersey.
Baltimore.
No, they went around Baltimore. They stayed out on the what do they call it? Eastern Shore? Is that what it's called? Yeah, they stayed out there. And because you get out there, there's just nothing out there. It's one of the few areas on the East Coast where there's not just grown up like crazy. Come through Delaware, there's nothing there. It's very peaceful driving.
The flight that I was on coming back, it was from Nashville to Charlotte to Houston. And there was a lot of people on that plane when I got off of it that was continuing on to Houston. I'm like, dude, y'all couldn't find a better flight. But then again, I was supposed to fly directly to Nashville from Charlotte, and I ended up going to Baltimore.
When we flew to Portland, Maine from Erie, Pennsylvania, we had to fly to Charlotte first. It was why?
Well,
Yeah, somebody was talking about flying to Portland. I think it's Victoria, Adventures Victoria. I'm like, I've flown into Portland, Maine, And if y'all had the same, that's the one where they come in and there's a hard bank to get to the airport. That bank is no fun, by the way.
I don't remember the bank, but
The one we were on, it was like a 90-degree turn in an airplane.
Portland's
Ooh.
a nice. I like Portland, Maine. It's a
That was a very
beautiful
nice.
place.
It was very nice.
Yeah.
The airport was beautiful. I rented a van out of there.
If you, yeah, I rented a vehicle out of there too. They got this big. It's underneath the
Mhm.
parking garage or something. It's yeah, but if you ever get up there, if you don't live there, just go on a self-guided tour of the lighthouses. It's just beautiful.
I went on a self-guided tour of the Rite Aids.
Well,
I don't think
did
they're
some
there
Goodwill
anymore.
as well as up there. No, I don't know about Maine. I
And
saw a lot of
there was some big
shut down
store.
Rite Aids
Somebody
this
in Maine
weekend.
know what it is. There's a big store in one of the towns. I think there's like 2 locations. It was a big closeout store.
I know what you're talking about. Bulls something.
I can't remember the name of it. Somebody in the chat tell us what it is. I can't remember the
Yeah,
name of it.
I
But
I
bought
went
quite a
into
bit
a
there.
couple of them, but I can't remember the name of it. There was that other store too that's all the way up down the East Coast. Geez, I can't remember.
But
I
yeah,
went in, but I didn't have any service, so I couldn't.
but there was a Rite Aid all the way almost to the border. So I went from one end of Maine to the other.
We drove up before my buddy's wedding, and he lives right in Old Orchard Beach, right on the beach. So it was kind of nice to just go down to the beach, and very nice.
Hey Jennifer, good morning. We already been talking about you. It was all bad, by the way.
Well, apparently Family Dollar is being sold, and the people that buying them is going to shut down a bunch of stores. So be on
Yeah,
the
but you
It's
know
got
lookout.
they shut down a bunch of Big Lots, and now they're starting to open them back up. Some sort of other place bought them, and
Lenny
Yeah.
maybe
says
that'll happen with Family
Maurice's.
Dollar.
I don't know, Lenny. I can't remember.
I know I went into a couple of those kind of places up there. I just didn't have service in them, but can't remember the names of them.
Good job, Glenn. He's a nice guy too.
It's Martin's is the name of it.
Yeah, that's it.
Martin's.
Martin's. There's a bunch of them, isn't there?
That's the name of it.
I went into one. Martin's. That's right.
Correct.
All right, guys, I gotta go take something for this cold. I picked up a damn cold on that airplane coming back. At least
Yeah,
I didn't pick up what Todd had going on that plane.
Lenny, you were way closer to me. I had to ask Google what it was. I couldn't remember. It's when you've been so many places, it's hard to remember them.
So y'all have a good day. We'll talk to you later.
Later, Tom.
Bye.
Bye, Tom.
Bye, Todrick. See you
Are we
tomorrow.
allowed to say that on live now? COVID. That's what it is.
Why can't you say COVID?
Didn't used to be allowed to say COVID. They would demonetize you.
Because you were usually, especially on Scott's channel, you're being derogatory about it. So,
Yeah.
all right, we'll see y'all later. Bye.
We finally got rid of them.
I know, all that coughing and carrying on. Yeah, so if you're going to get on the plane, you better up your vitamin C and vitamin D because everybody out there gets on a plane gets sick. Except for Todd. Did you up your vitamin C or D, or are you just mean as hell, Todd?
I didn't get sick until I got home.
I flew a few times during COVID and never really had an issue.
I never caught anything during it. I flew to. That's when I flew to Maine during all that.
Well, I think I had COVID, but it was before we knew it was COVID.
I got COVID on an Alaskan cruise. It's the only time I've
Cruise
had
ships were bad, but
And anytime you got to deal with recycled air, I wonder how many WalMarts I go into and all that craziness, and they try to give me a mask, and I'm like, yeah, I'm out.
Yeah, I
think I would've-
just so I could continue what I was doing. But
I think I counted WalMarts in like 14 states. I flew to Maine and back. And that was the greatest time to do whatever you wanted to because traffic. Everybody, y'all stayed at home.
I know, right?
Your
It was
asses were
awesome.
not on the road. Y'all stayed at home.
We were out making money.
But there was nobody on the roads. The roads were
Nope.
so. I mean,
I remember at the beginning that it was dead. Every store I went into was dead. It was great. It was
you were
wonderful.
driving around and it was like Red Dawn from the '80s
Mhm.
childhood.
It
Everybody,
was a little
everything was just
scary, but I
not to
miss
an
those
introvert.
days.
It was beautiful to an introvert.
No, it was wonderful. It was
I
great.
know. I never walked up the arrows and all the crazy shit. All that stuff they made up. Trust the government though. They know they're gonna fix climate. Did y'all see the craziness that is Canada yesterday? The new Prime Minister of Canada, who is a WEF puppet, comes up there and says, "Well, the relationship with the United States is never going to be the same. The old relationship." Well, no shit. You were taking us for 200 billion a year, motherfucker. You were tearing us to death, and we're just supposed to bend over and take it. Um, China, you created a port in Vancouver to let Chinese goods in for free to come into the United States with your agreements with us, just fucking us left and right, and we're supposed and you're mad that we said enough's enough. Uh, Come on, Canada. Uh, you've only been a state for a country for 60 years. I don't see you making it 80. Uh, yeah.
I have a friend who lives in Alberta, and he's calling for Alberta's independence. A lot of people in Alberta are.
Oh, 100% correct. It's I mean, we got the middle class in America can only take so much, and I know this ain't gonna be perfect, and it's probably just a speed bump before they cheat and take the elections again in 2028, unless we really fix it where you've got because folks in Canada, y'all gonna be the first ones that are gonna have a chip. I mean, if you step out of line, they debank you, folks. Canada, what are y'all thinking? Y'all want more of that? If you speak your mind, look about in England. If you criticize another, like there was an old man who was trying to tell somebody to speak up, he couldn't hear him, and they tried to tell a police officer that he said speak in English only. They were going to arrest him for telling somebody to speak in English. Is this what you want? Listen to the crazy old man on the internet. I'm telling you, is this what you want? In the United States of America, are you prepared to give up all your rights to these crazy leftists who can't tell you what bathroom to go to because they chop off their penis, they think they're a woman?
I think all that stuff is actually a distraction
Mm.
from what's really
What's really going
going
on? I'm telling you, to move us to digital currency and force you to the mark of the beast, or you're not going to be able to do commerce. Yeah, that stuff. Yeah, do some reading.
Thought police. There you go.
Yeah, it's
I
look at
had a buddy who's really big into sci-fi and things like that, but he had never read the book 1984. So during COVID, I recommended it to him. Yeah, that was that was the perfect time to read it. Not really, but I mean, if you look at that, yeah, it was very similar to what was going on openly at the time.
Mike, that is a reseller fact. The cheaper the item, the more big of a pain in the ass the customer is. Nearly every negative I've ever got has been for a $10 item.
I have never gotten a negative for an expensive item ever. When I say expensive, $50 or more.
Same thing on Amazon. It'll be some nickel and dime stuff. Somebody is mad about some nickel and dime stuff. Some Karen is carrying on. I'm like, really? That is just strange the way that happens. But
It's entitled, folks. Is what
I implore you folks just to keep. I don't pay any attention to what's going on other than just kind of where trends are going. And the longer this comes out, the more value our used goods are going to have. Also, the one thing I was talking to Dave last night, and I think if you're an arbitrage kind of person, like I've done retail arbitrage for a long time. I think the longer we battle with China, there is a day coming in the next few months where arbitrage is going to be everywhere. You're going to be able to pick up stuff everywhere and be able to flip it online because people are not going to be able to get it. It's going to be like mask on steroids.
All the while, Amazon is cracking down on that sort of thing. You have to sell it on eBay or something. But
Amazon's answer to this is we're going to show. Did y'all see the announcement that on some listings they're going to show
the
how
tariff,
much the tariffs are in the price of the item? And they got called out yesterday. Their stocks, have they recovered yet? Amazon stocks took a beating yesterday. Lag, you're the stock person. How bad did Amazon stocks get hit yesterday?
Let's see.
Yesterday, they
It wasn't too bad. It's Amazon is at 180.
yeah, but they were at 187. So they lost 7 points. That's a big number for a company that's been. How much market cap is, for an Amazon to lose 7 points? How much market cap is that? UPS set to lay off 20,000 workers as it reduces its business with Amazon.
But they're not they're laying off workers, but what they're really doing is consolidating their
73
distribution points.
facility closures. Yep.
They're just consolidating is what they're really doing. They closed one here. It's a big facility. I used to take all my bigger packages there so the driver didn't have to. So now I got to go somewhere else. But yeah, there was a big one here. And they closed it. Now UPS takes a little longer to get to me because we don't have the hub anymore.
Yeah, but I've tried to send everything if it's within 50 cents or $1 UPS, because how many hubs are out there bad at the post office? You don't want to get anywhere near Atlanta. You don't want to get anywhere near Indy. You don't want to get anywhere near Memphis.
I don't know what's going on, but when I buy something on Whatnot from Pat D's, for example, he lives in Hamlin, PA. It takes a week and a half to get to me.
It goes to the Philly hub.
Yeah, it takes a week and a half. If I send something to him, he gets it within a few days. It's just weird the way that works. And we had my wife's won some giveaways from him. It was candy, boxes of candy. And it took a literal week and a half. We were on vacation before we got it.
Like, so I have a part of
somebody pick it up.
So here's your point, Mike. I have a part. It's $15.99. It's the head of a steamer. How does this work? How old is it? When was it last used or checked for product cleaning and steaming? I'm not answering that question. And Phoebe, how'd you get outside? I locked you guys inside.
If I don't feel like it, I just don't answer. And it's usually on those low end things that they want to ask a lot of questions.
You want to come tell everybody what happened to you last week? You want to tell everybody what happened to you last week? I ran out the door.
I had one the other day. I bought a camera on Whatnot for $16. I sold it for $60. I fully tested it, of course. And so the guy gets it and says, I have this 64 gig card. I put it in there. It doesn't work. I even reformatted the card. It worked with my other camera. What's going on here? I said, you're using a card that's too big for the camera is what you're doing. So it takes the max is 32 gig on that. So we'll see how that goes. Hopefully he has another 32 gig card or something.
I jumped out the door. I chased a squirrel across the yard, and I sprained my leg because I pulled up limp.
And you know how I found out max was 32 gig on that? I Googled it.
Yeah, so yeah, that guy. I am ignoring him. I'm ignoring this person with the steam mop, and
I got questions on I have a Thomas item. It's only $11. And they want me to go look in the package and see whether it's the white model or the beige model. It's $11 fucking dollars. I'm not sorry about my language. No, I'm not. I'm not gonna go to too many extents to sell that damn thing.
Yeah,
it's doing all right. Pat just released a video on his 3D print. His 3D print stuff's doing pretty well for him. And then he's doing a lot of Whatnot. He's on almost every day, so that's where you guys see Pat.
Yeah, it's It is amazing. Um, Thomas the Train. I don't know. Were you talking about Thomas the Train?
Yeah.
Yes, he was talking about Thomas the
Those
Train.
those collectors are they're crazy. They want the exact right certain thing.
Well, speaking of Thomas Train, I'm gonna have a whatnot on Thomas Train. I got a whole bucket full of Thomas Train. Probably next Wednesday, or I might even just do a pop. Well, that one I don't think pop ups on something like that. I think you're right. I think I need to.
I think you need to at least let people know you're going to be doing it before you do it. I have the same thing. I have a big tote. I mean, a huge tote, probably a couple hundred characters of Imagine X. They're all Marvel and DC. DC was Play School. I have Play School and Imagine X, and I want to do a show because I am not sitting there listing them individually for $6 a piece because that's about what they $6 to $8 is generally average for those. There's a few good ones in there too, but yeah, let's see if I can sell them for $1 a piece. I don't care.
Yeah, that's the kind of stuff that I think is very useful on whether it be whatnot or district. Because I watched a guy last night. They did a Disney Ray Train, and Disney was doing okay. I just don't like Disney.
There's a guy I follow on Whatnot sells Disney Durables, and that's
Right,
all. Almost all he
popular.
sells on there. And he's not getting a ton of money for him. He's actually live right now. I think JT, Jason's his name, JT P Trap or something like that. He buys a lot of hats from me. And I started following him, and he does really well with just those Durables. So
yeah, I've got like one pack left. I had a bunch of them I bought from CVS.
But he's selling, as far as I can tell, I haven't watched the whole show or anything. He's selling them individually, or it's a female that's on there. It might be his wife or something. And
but so
you get
I would challenge you
$5.
Even if you're not ready to sell live, there's live selling on. So district is where Whatnot used to be. Whatnot was started out as a lot of resellers, and so you know the price. Everybody complained about the prices, and so but the resellers that were smart were going, "Hey, I can source over there." Folks, you can pick up good deals. Watch some of these lives on District. Tell Kevin I sent you because I'm tired of Kevin talking bad about me. It's like last night I picked up. There was a guy. Actually, it was Kevin's live yesterday afternoon. Picked up 40. It was half Blu-ray, half DVDs for $19 shipped. I'm gonna run the Blu-rays.
Timothy.
I'm gonna run the Blu-rays on Whatnot. I'm gonna run all the DVDs with a DVD player to the local auction, and then I got some. I got 8 of Jasmine, the Disney Infinities, for $18 shipped, and they're all brand new, and they sell for $11 or $12 on eBay. You know, it's one listing, 8 items. I couldn't find it on Amazon, so when I get it in my hand, I'll use the pictures or whatever, try to find it on Amazon. I tried typing it out. I didn't find it. But the one I missed, there was 8 of one of them. It was a $29 item on Amazon. You could have had it for $20 shipped, 8 of them, and they sell for $30 on Amazon. Okay, so the rank was a touch high in the video game category. It's like 47,000. But since you've got so cheap, I mean, put them for $19.99 and move all 8 of them. Cut the person by $10. You know, make $10 a piece on them. So you're gonna sell those for $80 that you paid $20 for. Take the fees out. You more than double up.
Doing that on eBay. I've got a new strategy on eBay. I've been listing a lot of ties because I can get them cheap, really cheap at the Goodwill bins. And there's some really good brands in there, like Ermengeldo Zynga, and I got that Hermes tie that I sold already. Bunch of stuff. But I'm pricing them high. I'm pricing them at the higher end of the market. And you know what? They're selling. So I take really good quality pictures. I mean, really good quality. And then I price them at the higher end of the market. And then I can make offers to buyers for 30, 40, even 50% off and still make a ton of money on these things. And you know what? It's working. That strategy is working really well for me. Some of them sell at the full price, and some I had one that I had listed for $20. Somebody made me an offer for $14, a counter offer after I offered it. Yes, $14. I'll sell it because I got what 10 cents into that tie. Yeah, my strategy is changing for that
And
kind
so,
of thing.
so they were selling bulk ties yesterday on Commons, and they were
I
getting
don't
pretty decent money. I'm like,
I don't know if
a
I'd
lot of
buy them in
time,
bulk, but
a lot of times they'll give ties away.
I sold a bunch. I sold a bulk set of ties on my last whatnot, and it's all they were all vineyard vines. There's 4 of them, and I think in there, but they all had where the knot is. They were discolored because people, if you leave it in your closet with the knot, and you just always have the knot in that same place, well, it's prone to getting dirty there. And I even had sent them through the dry cleaner, and he couldn't get that out. So I sold them as a bulk lot, and it went good. There's still people who will buy that. I just didn't want to sell it myself.
So I think some vintage memory said up top that it's getting the trucks unloaded. It's not the fact that everything's automated and barcoded and all that stuff. You still need to manually feed these systems. And so I think that was the biggest problem in Indianapolis. They just dropped trucks and dropped trailers because the trailers, it would take 3 weeks for a trailer to get through the queue to get unloaded to get shipped out. Atlanta's been the same way. And so it's not generally, it's not the systems, it's the people who are running the systems. Like somebody said, newer postmaster said, as you change things, remember. Okay, so my post office is probably the exception, and a lot of you probably have great people at your post office, but chances are they're not. Most people in the system somewhere are not the brightest. Just they've got to where everybody else is now, where they have to take anybody because they know they need people. And so that's probably got to be part of it, is needing people, and then the people they're getting are, whether they're well intentioned or not, maybe they're not qualified for the job. Who knows? The post office. The other thing, remember the other thing, the post office and what Trump has been talking about, and about firing people at the post office, is if you look at the history of the post office for the last 10 to 12 years, maybe a little longer, they have hired lots of employees, but they have built in middle management, and they have not hired, on the ground workers. And so it looks like they've got the same number of employees, even for declining packages, but they have way more middle management. And as companies mature, they do this terribly. They build in these layers of management that cost lots of money, that creates inefficiency, because now you've got too many people who are you've got you got too many chiefs and not enough Indians. That's what they used to call it.
I have to give props to my local post office. They are wonderful.
Yeah,
And
mine is
they
absolutely
treat me really good.
mine's absolutely great. Yesterday I got there, and I don't have scan sheets, and it was one of the assistant postmasters from one of the other ones was filling in, and she's this is a super nice lady. I'm like, you just, and she was starting to keep, and somebody came behind me right at close. I'm like, you just want to keep the bag? I don't need it. And she's like, yeah, it'll be right here on the counter. Jason will get back to you tomorrow. These are the most wonderful people.
That's what they do for me. I have
Um,
reusable bags, and they'll keep them for me. And
Jason's awesome. Postmaster Letitia is great. She just had not to be there yesterday, but answers any question, very knowledgeable. But I don't think that's everywhere.
I can go in and ask to speak to the postmaster, and she'll come out. It's wonderful. Other
Oh,
places
our
aren't
post
like
office
that.
is about this big. I speak to her. I'm like, I see you
Well,
hiding back there.
ours is a lot bigger, but
I see you hiding back there, Letitia. What are you doing?
I got to say they've let me in the back room there. I can dump things on the dock, and
If I
it's
have a lot,
fine. Yeah.
and then also, so the lady who does our route used to live in the neighborhood. Andy used to live in the neighborhood, and so I asked her the other day. I'm like, man, Mondays are a pain. I'm probably gonna start scheduling this coming Monday for pickup. Is that she used to drive a small Jeep, and it would have been too much on the Jeep because I got too many back. But they put her in one of the Mercedes Metros vans, and she's like, "Oh, that's perfect. I'm this is the last stop. This neighborhood is the last stop that I'm done for the day." And so I told her I'll just put them on a hand truck and we can just roll them right to you. She said, I just have to scan 5 and I'm done with those. Any pickup you've got. So I'm going to start on Mondays and maybe Tuesdays if I don't get finished on Mondays as scheduling pickups.
I might start scheduling some if I have a lot of whatnots going out, because I didn't used to, because my mail lady was an older. She
And
was
because
older.
of
She just
whatnot, I want,
retired.
yeah.
But whatnot makes it really hard. So right now they're working on the outside of the post office, and the other day I was going to just drop off at the dock. Well, they had all their equipment there, and a big postal semi was pulling in, so I couldn't get to the dock. So I would pull around front, and they're working on they're tearing the sidewalk in front of the post office. So I had to park way down the street and carry all that whatnot stuff and all the eBay sales. It was a pain in the butt. Took me
See,
a couple of trips.
there's only like 14 parking spaces at our entire post office.
Yeah, we don't have enough for the size.
And
of
so
ours.
if the trucks are back in the afternoon, it's very hard. You can't get in there in the morning until after 10, because unless you park in a handicap spot, which I will, just because it's the only spot. Every other spot's taken up with employee
We don't
cars
have handicap spots.
and with trucks. How are they not handicapped? That's
We have the handicap access is the dock, so you can ring a bell back there and they'll come out and get your packages.
come on, okay.
Because we have stairs in the front. There's no ramps or anything. And I know in this day and age it's hard to believe, but there's no way to get in there if you're handicapped. So they have access in the back.
Yeah, they actually had that problem at
this building was built a long time ago,
at the bar at the pizza place that we were at Friday night. One of the resellers, she was in a wheelchair, and everything was supposed to be outside, so it'd have been no problem, because you had to go upstairs to get into this place. And once the threat of rain had passed, we were all outside, so that worked out okay. But I don't see how they get away with that kind of stuff. You can't get there's no bathrooms downstairs. How does someone who is wheelchair bound, have access to a restroom?
Yeah, I thought there were regulations for that sort of thing, but maybe
There
some
are.
places there aren't. I don't know. I thought it was a federal thing, but
It is.
But even like I said, the post office, they have access, but there is a ramp out back, but it's concrete and it's old, and it's nasty back there because it's an old loading dock is what it is.
That's what Steve said. He prefers rear access.
I'm not going to even comment on that shit.
So Mike Matko in the Facebook said he's going to do a post Nashville show this evening on his channel.
Okay.
I really wish I could have went, but this year the cards weren't in our favor. But next year, hopefully. I'm mad that I didn't get to see Sue again. It's been a long time since we've had a meeting with Sue, and
yeah. A lot of people went to the bin
when we found out she was going. Yeah,
we didn't do bins. Well, you wouldn't have found out till Thursday or Friday. So
I know. Yeah. That's when she messaged it in the group chat. And that's how I knew she was there. I'm like, oh shit. Not that I wouldn't want to see you folks, but Sue's a special lady, But I still couldn't have went anyway. We just don't have the money right now. We ended up going to Berlin, Ohio, which has an annual yard sale. It's all Amish. It's Amish yard sale. So you're pulling up literally to an Amish home, and they all have these beautiful garages. They're more advanced Amish. They're not, most of them aren't old order. But we went to 150 yard sales at least in 3 days. It was crazy. Now, I wouldn't suggest it for reselling purposes, but it is nice to go and see the simpler side of things. And a lot of them had really cool stuff. They love baseball, so a lot of them had baseball gloves. I picked up a few baseball gloves, but yeah, not a lot of electronics this weekend. Now, some of the English have yard sales too, so we went to those, and I got a PlayStation 4 Pro for $25. It was crazy. And this is the second day of the yard sales at noon. And Amish start their yard sales at 5. So these yard sales are going up since 5 in the morning.
Are you sure? Why 5? Is just because they're already up anyway?
Because they're Amish, yeah.
Yeah.
5 or 6. The English all started at 8 or later.
Go gather the eggs and then start your garage sale.
Well, they're there anyway. They might as well open the door, right? And they
Right.
were every single one of them. It rained really good on Friday, but every single one of them were indoors. So because they have these beautiful garages they built, big. Some of them have kitchens in them. I mean, it's crazy. The Mennonite ones are nicer, even nicer. But it was kind of a nice thing to just go, and you're going down these long ass driveways that are made for buggies, and going back into there's 3 or 4 houses back there because the families all live together, and it's really cool. If you ever get to Berlin, Ohio, or anywhere near there, it's just nice to go and take a drive through there. It's a beautiful place. Watch out for electric bicycles and buggies. That's the only thing you got to worry about, because they all ride electric bikes, and they fly on those things. We'll be in North Carolina, Sue, on May 8th. We got to go up to Boone that Saturday because her niece is graduating from Appalachian State, and we'll be there from Thursday to Thursday. So May 8th through the following Thursday.
That's an awful place, by the way.
Appalachian State or Boone?
Boone.
I have never been to Boone.
It's very pretty, but it's like a baby Asheville.
Asheville's not bad, depending on where you're at. Asheville is very progressive, if we'll use that term, and I heard Boone is too. But
Kevin did not have a trailer.
Asheville.
Asking if Kevin had his trailer, he did not. I didn't have mine either. Thanks for asking.
We also go to North Carolina on during Christmas, so sometimes on a whim in October.
I watched Trash to Cash early this morning, and Kevin actually mentioned meeting Glenn and me.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Of course, the other 2 guys were like, "Who's that?"
Yeah, right. Who's Todd?
Swamp
Everybody knows
Kicker?
Glenn. Everybody knows Glenn. Glenn's
He's been around. Glenn's been around a long time.
Yeah.
I've met Glenn at the first reseller, the first 2 ones. Glenn was there. Good dude. My whatnot handle, I'm not sure. If only I could tell you my whatnot handle.
It'd be like Steve Alcorn, wouldn't it?
You definitely don't want Scott Haley to be there.
Scott's been there before.
Scott's trouble.
Yeah. I had Kent Daigle in my whatnot the other day. He bought some hats off me. Thanks, Kent, if you're listening.
So Bear said that he sold his MacBook M2 Pro and got an iMac much better. Yeah. So when that video yesterday, I went ahead and did the 4K. It took over an hour and like 15 minutes just to make it where I could upload it. This is an i9 computer. This is an i9 chip, the last Intel chip So I'm gonna make enough videos to pay for a Mac Mini. Because if I don't make the videos, I don't need the computer because this computer does fine for everything else. So I'm like, you know what? So I've got to make $550 and
we'll see you again
on YouTube.
Mine's a 2019 iMac with the i9. It was the last good one, and I like it. I love it.
Up,
I can edit videos on here, no problem. But I upgraded the RAM right away. But I bought it off Amazon instead of paying the Mac prices.
So how goes Las Vegas this morning?
Got to pick up some stuff this morning. 4 different locations today. So,
hey, I joined the Crazy Canadian. So I started. I'm gonna start putting. So I changed the phone to have a. As I flip through this thing, to have the calendar on the widget now, and so it tells me tomorrow I have a noon recording of the podcast.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, you guys need those things. There's a reminder app on the iPhone that you have to download if you want to interact with AI and just tell AI to do it, but it won't do it without that app.
Bing.
So what's the name of the app?
I think it's just reminder. is what it's
Josh
called.
said he was going to start doing daily videos now live.
Reminders is what it's called. So if you tell AI to set me a reminder tomorrow for the podcast or whatever, it'll say, okay, and it'll come up and you just select the little dot and it'll add it for you.
I have it. I have it on there. That's built into the phone.
No, I had to go and download it. You might have downloaded it before.
Can't you just tell Siri to set you a reminder?
It said that it couldn't do it without the I had to have the app for it. I'm like, okay.
Huh.
Yeah, I've had that app. I use it all the time.
Maybe I deleted it at some point, but
I might
it wouldn't
I
do
might
it.
have it. I don't know.
Yeah, Lenny, but during that live yesterday, he said that he was going to start doing a live every day at noon.
So that's a lot of
Noon
that's
Eastern.
a lot of commitment.
That's what do you talk about all the time? That's the problem I have with it. What do you?
He
There's always
never
something, but Josh seems to have
lacks
things
for
that-
things
yeah.
to say, really.
Yeah.
He's
So
a
Bear,
talker.
John, whatever he did to help Bear, he said he had $1,000 in 1 week, crazy week.
Yeah.
One day.
Well, I don't know if he did a nuclear reset, but that's what I did. And I went from a disastrous weekend to a great start this week.
What do you do for a nuclear reset? What is that in your mind?
I'm taking all but maybe a couple listings and I am ending them. And then I'm going in and I'm just doing a sell similar in all of them. And maybe changing something in the listing, but not in all cases. This particular last weekend, I just wiped them all out and relaunched them with a sell similar. And within a half an hour, I started getting sales again. And mind you, I wasn't getting sales from Friday afternoon all the way to Sunday afternoon. And
Sell Similar gives you a new item number and
yeah,
access.
it gives you a new item. It gives you a new listing tag next to your title. And I ended up with a $400 and something odd day on Sunday just from all the sales I had that evening. And then I had a $900 day on Monday. This is coming from just nothing on Saturday.
Happy. Of course, I'm just getting back into it, but I think I need to do something similar to that. My wife does sales, and it's working really well for her, but she's into women's clothes, so it's a different category than what you and I are into. So, but when she does these sales, and she only runs them for 48 hours, because it gives that sense of urgency,
Yeah.
It was the old Dusty method, and it's been working really well for her as far as clothing. But I've been trying it on some of my stuff, and it doesn't work as well for me. But I got collectibles and parts for things and things like that, baseball cards. It's just not working as well. So
just remember though,
what you're doing and try that.
There's no our listings are not immune to eBay glitches and problems. I'm certain of that. So we don't know what's going on in the background. There's been times in the past where I wasn't getting any views at all for days, and I'd had to call eBay, and they said, there's a catalog problem with your listings. We'll send it to the back room and we'll fix it. Took them a few days. Well, I've kind of gotten wise to that. All you have to do is end and sell similar, and those old broken listings are now gone, and you've created new listings. So that's kind of why I do it. I don't want to wait for eBay.
No, it makes no sense. I think having a good system to do that, even if I don't know how often you would do it. I know Dusty was doing it several times a week, wasn't he? Ending and relisting or ending and selling.
Yeah, that's just kind of gaming the system to give yourself that new item boost. And there's nothing wrong with that if you have the listings. If you have the number of listings, some of us have thousands of listings. I don't, but some people have thousands of listings, and doing that every other day will just take out all the listings. I know
in some categories you don't want to do that. Like Mark has been on here with his postcards, and he doesn't want to do that because it gives them a new listing every time, and it's sending it to their email. And then it just annoys them because they have things on their watch list.
I bet.
So in some categories, you don't want to do it. But in my categories, which are just random, It's probably a
Yeah.
good thing in yours too.
Yeah.
So, I think once you get, um, oh yeah, so he's saying that in the chat now. I think once you get familiar with what works for your store,
Mm-hmm.
then you can do so much better.
Yeah, and I only have 300, a little less than like 260. I don't have even 300 listings in my main
Yeah,
store.
I have 400 right now.
So
400 and probably 100 of those are baseball cards that are stale.
yeah, I have my ASP is about $75 per sale. So I have a lot of higher ticket items, which is why my store is so small. And so the work behind doing a end item sell similar isn't gonna even be close to someone like, I can just imagine someone like James who has 75,000 listings trying to pull that. That'd be just too much work to even mess with, I think.
So I wonder how many of his listings, like Timothy is saying, that anything over 2 years, eBay really archives to the most part.
I think it's
Doesn't-
less than that. I think it's less than that, where they'll just out of the
I
blue.
think
I had last year. I had 12 golf clubs. They're still sitting out in my
It's
garage,
definitely less than that.
and only 3 of them are still up. And so I'm like, where did the other listings go? So it's less than that.
I wonder what if James could benefit by systematically doing, say like, working on like 10,000 a week or something, or
Well,
some number.
that's what Dusty was doing. He wasn't doing every listing
He
every
wasn't
day.
doing every listen. No, he was doing a
Uh,
certain number each.
I think it was every 30 days or something he would relist them or something
But he
like
would
that.
redo the sales and promotions
Yeah, daily. Yeah.
The problem though, even doing
daily.
10,000 a week, you have to do 200 at a time. The way eBay is set up, they give you a maximum of 200 what you can actually go in and select. And
Right.
then with the way the process is, you run a high risk of screwing up and deleting those
Right.
outright before they even get relisted. So that would cause, I think if you have a huge store, it's hard to do.
I can tell you that in my experience, Christmas time I do it. I sell cookie presses, and I can list those. If they don't sell in December, then the next year comes around, I end them and sell similar, and they'll sell almost immediately as soon as I end them and sell similar.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't need to end cookie presses in March, for example, because nobody's buying them at that time of year. For the most part, you'll sell one here and there, but it does work. I know the system works.
Yeah.
Ending and selling, or even ending and relisting in some cases, depending on if you want to keep your followers or whatnot. So,
No, I'm a
but
big.
if you're ending a listing to sell similar, that means even the people who are watching it, your watchers, aren't buying it, because I've already sent out offers on that thing. I've done everything else to make it try to sell. You know what I mean? Before I'm going
Right.
to end it.
But we have different kind of buyers. So there's a different buyer that's looking at antiques. So, oh, I like this thing. I may buy it in a few weeks,
Yeah.
when I get the money or whatever. So they're a watcher. Someone that's looking for electronics or something like that. They're on your listing. eBay thinks that they're a potential buyer, so they'll earmark them as a watcher, but they'll move on to something else and probably buy something else. And
Right.
you only have a limited window to even send them an offer when it pops up on your screen. Or we're also dealing with people who are just doing research like you and I on a listing, and eBay thinks that they might be a potential buyer. They earmark them as a watcher. So in my case, I'm not losing any real watchers when I end and sell similar, because they would have either bought already or they're not even buyers. So
Yeah, I think I'm thinking the same thing on a lot of
yeah.
these. Now, there's things. If I get, there was an item I listed, and almost immediately I had like 50 watchers, almost immediately. And it did sell, and it sold for full price. And I think in those instances, you don't even have to do anything with that listing, because you know it's going to sell if you get that many watchers right away.
Yeah.
It's just these ones that you might have 2 or 3 watchers, and it's 3 or 4 months old, and you just stale. Almost everything I have is stale right now. When I sell things, it's always something I listed in the last week or two. Now, I still sell some of that other stuff, but if I don't get in there and start working on doing what you're doing, or you're finding a system, like my wife has a system now and she's selling more consistently. So I need to get in there and do that. I'm going to do a test maybe on 50 items just to see if it works. But I know at Christmas time it does when I'm doing those, because I'll have them listed even in October. They start selling. So if they go through October and they haven't sold, I'll end them and relist them on those cookie presses, and they sell any Christmas items I have. So beginning in November, if they haven't sold, I end and relist, and almost always, if it's a good quality item, it will sell. So there is a stale factor to the
There is.
things. They're just not
I'm a
being
firm believer.
they're
The
just
longer
not
you
being
allow an
seen.
item, the longer you allow an item to sit, the farther it gets pushed down. It doesn't mean it won't sell, but it's eBay is looking at it as we want the hotter items near the top. If this thing's been sitting around for a long time, it's not a hot item.
See, I wonder how they treat it too. Like I've just put my whole store on sale again. I wonder if activity moving price, if that kicks it out of the stale, or if
Some
working
people say
promotion,
so.
working and changing promotions. Uh, maybe I really need to go back, and I've got 600 items, and I need to really sit down and figure out.
That's the cookie press I'm talking about, by the way.
Yeah, everybody knows Super Shooter. We know.
Yeah.
I need to change. I need to change some pictures. Because I just got aggressive. I put the whole store 30% off. Fuck it.
Yeah. Well, this is what on Friday, $151 in sales, and then it went dead that morning. Nothing on Saturday. It wasn't until Sunday afternoon I had my first sale after doing the end item sale, similar, $410. Then followed up Monday, $896. Yesterday, $522, and today I'm waking up to $160 in sales. So I don't know.
See, the one thing I know we've had a conversation on the podcast. Make sure y'all check out the PPP. We're recording tomorrow for Saturday. It's a good way to start your weekend. Getting into the brains of me, John, and Josh. It's dangerous, but it's fun. But we've had conversations about the lighthouse effect, and I don't know that it's the lighthouse effect versus. I think it's maybe it's more of the stale effect. Maybe it's more of the, maybe if you change prices, it moves yourself in search. There's something because to say eBay hides your listings is counter to what eBay does, because eBay needs your listings to be shown. And so if your listings go stale, I can see where they're not hidden. They're just down in search. And
yeah, I just think what happens is we think as sellers in terms of our own listings, and we don't understand or realize how many other listings from other sellers are out there that we're competing against. And eBay's got to juggle these every time someone goes in and searches for that item. They've got to rank them in some way. And we're competing with all those other listings that are being ranked. So by doing an end item sell similar, that in the algorithm's eyes gives your item a little bit of a boost. I think that's why.
Mike says eBay rep mentioned have 7 photos on listings. I had less, change price. There's some things you can't take.
Yeah,
okay,
baseball cards get 2 photos. Front.
It seems redundant, but if you're playing the game, you can take
How
multiple.
Are you gonna do 7 on this?
Easily. You could take the front. You could take it from the side. You could take an angle from the side. You can do a zoom into any problem. Open case, do the same thing. You can do it if you want.
But it's worthless.
No, it's not, because that's what eBay focuses on. If you look at the listings quality report, it should be in there by now. You guys should have it. If you look at the listings quality report, that's one of the things it focuses on is the number of photos.
So do we have
as compared to the top people in your category? It isn't saying you have to have 7 photos. What it's saying is the top sellers in your category have this many photos, and where do you compare to them?
So does everybody have their listings quality report yet?
According to eBay, they said that we're supposed to have. Now I see mine, but if you go under Seller Hub, under Performance, under Summary, when you click on that, to the very right, upper right, there's a bubble there. It says download listings quality report.
And you would be a liar.
Well, they announced it at the Boss Seller Remix out here back in March that by the end of April, which is today, that most sellers will have that available.
Most.
I'm announcing right now that after the show, I'm going to make a download to the septic system. And there we go.
Yeah, I don't have
My main
the
account.
bubble. Not there.
Let me go to my second account. Never had it, so let me see if I
So,
have.
so Biff, I agree with you, man. It is gamified, and it's getting worse and worse, and that's why the focus of me is I've got all these DVDs and stuff too. I'm tired of this filing cabinet being full. I'm tired of waiting on Amazon as well. Maybe I start having a DVD show, and like Steve's doing hat shows. Maybe I'm gonna do DVDs and Blu-rays once a week.
Do it. Set it. I found on Whatnot it seems to work better for me if I set a scheduled day for that. So every day on Sunday at 4 is this week. I have to change it to Saturday because we'll be out of town Sunday. But and the hats are. At the beginning I was selling a few, but as time goes by, I'm selling more and more and more. And because I'm the cheapest hat guy on Whatnot, people are now starting to see that and come, and then they're going to resell them on Whatnot or eBay or wherever. I don't care, as long as I'm making the money. And so DVDs are similar. If you set it one day a week, sell DVDs, maybe you'll get some followers. I like there's guys out there that do DVDs and they'll go through 10 DVDs, and if that doesn't sell as a single, then they put it in a lot of 10 and sell it that
Right.
way. And so that's what I did with my first DVD show, and it was okay. I didn't do great, but it was just for me to practice.
I mean, I've got CDs over there that somebody else can have.
With my CDs, I packed them all in a large flat rate. I chose flat rate shipping from I made a custom shipping profile for just those.
Right.
And so every time you bought one, you had to pay the $9.12 shipping. But you're getting a box of CDs, 65 CDs or more for $5 plus the shipping. It ends up being under $20 for 65 CDs. And I sold out of them in one show. It was nice. I got rid of all that crap that I didn't want anymore. I didn't make a ton of money, but I've already paid for all that because of the listings I've had on eBay and stuff. So I didn't care. I was good.
All right, somebody.
Something's wrong with this.
Somebody put lag. Somebody put lag in timeout. Oh, wait a minute! I made him a mod. What the hell was I thinking?
Why would you do that?
Because I live life on the edge. That's why.
And I also noticed this week I haven't sold much of anything because I didn't list much last week because we were on vacation and I was doing the Whatnot shows and I was trying to get a bunch of things done outside of eBay. So now this week I'm paying for that on eBay because I didn't list much last week. So I'm going to take all my DVDs right now that are listed on eBay. I'm going to end every single one of them, and I'm going to do the sell similar, and then I will see what happens with them.
A lot of this stuff, I just want the space back. I want it gone, and at some point, I have to get out of my mind that it's on whatever site it's on, and just let it go. I'm gonna deem that. What is that? The frozen method. The frozen method of selling. Let it go. Let it go.
Let it go.
It's something
That's
like
where
that.
I've been with.
You got to sing it, Beard. You got to sing it.
We're buying things from the Goodwill bins. We're paying pennies.
I've got Goodwill bins here. Never been. I've never been to the Goodwill.
Get a halfway decent, reasonable offer. I'm paying 10 cents for a tie. If I get a $14 offer, even though it's a $25 tie, I'm probably going to take it. Because it's money. It's cash.
In the morning lights, the sun on the side, I'm the hunter of deals, I'm the master of the buy. With my wisdom and experience, I'm setting the pace, turning yard sale, junking. All right, it's like we're at the beginning again. So there you go, Logic Z. We're starting over for you. You got to see part of the intro.
I thought you were ending it because I was in the middle of talking like you normally do.
I thought he was treating you like Tom.
No,
before Tom came around, he did it to me all the time.
No, since I canceled the Whatnot show after this, I don't have to be anywhere. But I do want. Yeah, I'm not doing it today. I don't know. With so much going on with Nashville and trying to get shipping, I got behind yesterday. I never had a chance.
I have
And then
54 DVD listings.
I could have done it last night, but I shot a video instead. I'm like, you know what?
Hey, I was going to ask you on those CDs on a Whatnot show. Can you play, like, let's say, have a song playing from a CD while you're auctioning it off? I think that would, if you're allowed to do that, that would be a great
People
So
way.
that's
do
what.
it.
So how about here's what? So Two Hip Chicks, they do a Whatnot show and they do vinyl. And if somebody buys it, they play part of it and then they go to the next one.
Well, I'm
It's pretty
saying
cool.
like someone might be like, I'm not sure what CD that is, but if you play like one of the top songs from it, it might. Oh yeah, I remember that one, and might get them interested in bidding.
I've seen vinyl people do it, so I would assume.
Hey
But
Ron,
it depends on what. If you're running 10-second auctions, it's kind of hard to, if you're trying to get through a lot of stuff.
Ron, in the
If you're just
description of
having
your
a more
video,
casual show,
there's an Amazon link. It'll take you right to my store. Pick supplies I use. It'll show you all the scales I use.
I'm convinced you
I'm
need
going
somebody.
to.
You need two people running a Whatnot show to make it run smooth. Otherwise, it can be, kind of.
My wife is in the background on my shows, and I'm in the background on hers, and it makes
Yeah.
it so much easier.
Yeah.
Yeah, I drew. I really am. I'm gonna empty this cabinet because there's a guy on Dibdit right now who what's his name? Reseller Rush. He's talking about I'm selling it all. He's just 6 hours live on Dibdit, just selling everything. And there's a lot of. I want to do some of that. I just want to get rid of some of this stuff. I go to my storage building, it is full, and I know there's a storage building across the way. It's full. The big girls are full. The big girl stuff, I'm starting to.
Oh,
Monday when I go to the auction, I'm going to drop off, cases of 50. Somebody buy these things.
that's weird. I'm ending and selling similar while we're talking on my DVDs. I had one listed at $999. It's probably supposed to be $999.
I wonder why that one hadn't sold.
Yeah. Well, I come across this every once in a while where
Because
you hit the
this
wrong button or
building,
something.
this building is just not useful because it's so full, and I have to turn sideways. I really want to, Mary. Thanks so much. We tried to really. I mean, we've been
There's
cutting up a
one
little
for
more with each other.
$3,000.
We just have a natural conversation, is what it is. We don't start with any kind of. I always ask the guys, "What do you want to talk about?" It's like, well, I have no idea, and then it just
Whatever.
evolves into a organic conversation.
There was a lot of humor in this last one with Josh and the dinosaur. That was pretty good. He never even mentioned it. Have you noticed that? Josh has not even mentioned the dinosaur. What's up?
No,
We're gonna have to,
we're gonna play
either
it.
we're going to ask him tomorrow about it, or you're just gonna have to play into it and make the dinosaur play.
I had a DVD player listed. It's a Sony, and it was listed for $3,199.
I told Ron to go check my store, but Logic Z is correct. Ron, do you want me to go to Amazon just to get you a link to a?
There we go. I ended and said it was similar on all the. They changed some prices on them. We'll see how
I
they
use
do.
the Rolo scale. I love those Rolo scales. I have 3 of them that we use.
Yeah, they cost
I
too
have
much.
the Accutech.
They're $40 a piece.
That's not
$40
horrible.
a piece, and I've gone through scales in the similar price point where they get funky. They start adding weight before you even put anything on. Even if you clear it, it's
So
like
these scales are good for about 3 years, and then they.
The Accutechs, yeah, about 2 to 3 years is what I got.
So there you go. That's the one I use right there, Ron. So it's good for. I've got one that's starting to do that, so I'm going to end up having to replace it shortly. But I mean, it's freaking $24. I can have 6 years worth of scales before I spend. But the Rolo's going to go bad too. I mean, the Rolo's not going to be.
Sure.
It's the same Chinese. Oh, you linked it. I didn't realize that. I didn't see it.
And speaking of scales and stuff, we're talking they're only $25, but give it a few months, they're going to be double, triple. So if you're looking at buying supplies or something for your business,
Hey, so Supply Hut is mainly U.S. They do all their boxes and everything. So code bearded on those. Those are the boxes I use. Actually, in the video, I think I mentioned that I'm cutting down. So the size of the box matters. So I've got an item that I'm cutting an inch out to save 40 or 50 cents every. It's an 866. I'm like, why did I'm going to order the 865 from Supply Hut next. It's like $47 for 100. That's 47 cents a box. Taking my 5% off. I couldn't find anybody under 866. There's nobody on eBay under $50. I think I paid 56 for these 100 that I'm having to cut one down when I should have looked at Supply Hut. I'm just an idiot, I guess. Didn't look at my own and use my own link, and I would have saved money. So yeah, I was texting Charlie yesterday. He's the owner of Supply Hut. He's a really nice guy. I was asking some questions, and he's really quick to answer. It's weird that the CEO and founder of the company will text me back. Just a little guy here in Alabama. But the printers, John and I do agree on printers. We use the same printer. I think same model.
I have Jaden's. They used to be a sponsor to my show. I trimmed some of the sponsors out, but I still use the Jaden's printer.
All right, so then I'll give you a link if you need a printer. Jaden is the printer of choice for me. It's just I like the fact that when you buy most of the Jaden printers, it comes with the label roller. You don't have to buy that extra. The one that I got, even though I picked it up at a yard sale, somebody had an Amazon pallet returns, and I'm like, "Ooh, look, Jaden's printer, $15."
Yeah, that's good.
And I found one at a yard sale for $2, so I sent that one to Jennifer, so she uses a Jaden's.
We're still trying to find a good thermal printer that works well with Bluetooth for the Mac. The only one we found was IDPRT, but there's a long delay. Well, Jaden says it does, but they don't.
You have to use their app.
Print.
You have to use their app to do it.
Yeah, right. You got to use their app.
There's only so the IDPRT is the only one that works directly with Bluetooth from the Mac, but you still have to download an extra program and hit click connect every time, and there's a big delay between the time you hit print and the time the label prints out. Mm-hmm. So, but that's the one my wife uses. I just have mine on the network, and so I can print from any computer in the house. So it's just a Zebra, but that Zebra has. I bought that for $10, I think, from Andy, because it needed repaired, and I repaired it, and man, I've been using that for 5 years now.
Most of these printers are the same. The first printer that I ever bought was the Dymo. Right when I went full time, I'm like, I'm gonna go to Costco and get a Dymo. That thing lasted 30 days and took a dump on me. So it was then I knew I didn't have to spend hundreds of dollars on a thermal printer to get the results.
My Dymo 4XL is my travel printer because I can keep the labels inside of it.
Yeah, the Dymo I showed you that video. I've had that one since 2015. It had to really be John's fault. John had to screw that up.
Here's what people are seeing. This is a 450 or it's a 400.
Folks, if you find those at yard sales,
at the Goodwill bins,
a brand new 4XL is $625 on Amazon. Holy crap!
The thing about this thing at the Goodwill bins is somebody put it back. This is not a high end printer. It's $40, but it's
buy the used from Amazon because it's $185.
Yeah. And things are going to get more expensive. Do you hear that where Amazon is actually now going in and putting a little disclaimer why things are going up in price because of the tariff?
We
talked about that while you were asleep.
Yeah. I was dreaming about that. That must be why.
Yeah. Sue's had hers for 8 years and traveled with it. I've drugged mine all over this country. It's John.
It's old John.
So the biggest problem where people have with Dymos is the way they feed the paper. They back up and they go forward. And so I found that if you'll leave one empty label at the top, it backs up every time. It never, because sometimes it'll back up and it rolls on the rollers and it's hard to get that label out without a business card will get it out. You need a business card but people tear them up because there's a ribbon cable in there that the light cable. The little lights, but I'm telling you, if you'll leave one label out and print on a dymo, it'll never have an issue. I leave one label out, never has an issue. But I wouldn't. Okay, but I like it a lot, but I like I just because I have plenty of space, I like the Jadens better. The difference with the dymo though is the Jadens is better for printing than some of the other printers, but the dymo prints at 303 DPI. So if you've got smaller labels and you need them scanned, it prints a finer print. All the other printers are at 202. And so you don't think that's a huge deal until you go to try to scan one with your scanner, and you'll go, oh, wait a minute, it's not reading that smaller labels. And so the dymo will print smaller. And so that is a huge difference. I also like the dymo. I like their software that comes with it, so you can count numbers and do all kinds of crazy stuff with smaller labels.
I make these with the dymo software.
Yeah.
JADENS Logic Z.
I had a couple private label products that we were doing on Amazon back in the day, and I used the Dymo 4XL for my product labels because it's 100% legible every time, no matter how small the print is. Because we were selling candy at one time on eBay and Amazon, and I needed to make up the FDA type label for it, so I did that, and I did that with the Dymo. You couldn't do that with the Zebra that I have, or the Jadens, or whatever, because it's not as readable, it's not as legible. But for speed and for shipping lanes, those printers work great.
So there's the Jadens right there. That one comes with the. I'm almost positive it comes with the holder. It shows it on a picture.
I mean, they have one for $59.99. It's a different looking model than what we have.
They've come down
$20 cheaper, and it's Bluetooth.
Yeah, if you got a Windows machine, one of those is fine.
I have a Mac and I run the Jadens all day.
What I mean is for the Bluetooth.
Yeah. Oh, for the Bluetooth, yeah. I don't have any Windows machines out here.
Yeah, I have my printer down here underneath my actual printer. It's not anywhere near my computer, and it's just cool that I don't have to, have it on my desk or anything like that. I just have it out of sight, out of mind. When I use it, I just run the labels
See, Logic. If you look at that Jadens, you can put the fan fold underneath that thing, or you can put the bar on it and do the rolls. I use the big FBA, the big UPS labels, 960 on a roll.
Mm-hmm.
I put an extra roll on the thing to make it where it spins a little easier for the first 100 labels because it's really heavy pulling. But after that, it makes it easy to use the free labels because the fan fold are harder to get. You've got to call the rep and get them to send it to you if they will.
Oh, I didn't have to do that.
There's no fan folds on the thing anymore.
They must have changed it. I've got so many because I thought I was smart before I found out about the free UPS labels. I went on Mercari and bought a bunch of labels. I bought 5,000 of them, and somehow he sent me 2 sets, so I got 10,000. But anyway, when I got them home, it said UPS on the back of them. So he's selling the free labels on Mercari, which is a scam.
Yeah, a lot of people sell the free boxes on eBay.
So anyway, I then that told me, okay, UPS has these. So I went and looked, and they were free, and so I got some there. But now I guess I'll have to go. I won't run out. Oh no, I've got a lot of them in there. I won't run out. But like you, John, I have my thermal printers under my desk. My grandma had an old plant table, and so I have my Dymo and my Zebra on this little plant table underneath my desk.
Largely, it's just whatever I get to. So whenever Bed Bath & Beyond closed, I bought 71 rolls of labels for $1 a roll. And so I sold a bunch of them, but I was selling them in 4-packs. Still got 35 or 40 of those. And so
if you remember that Amazon glitch where we got all those rolls of labels.
I've got 2 cases of those too. They were Dymo labels.
My wife is using those on her IDPRT because just because they're Dymo doesn't mean you can't use them.
So it's whatever I get to the labels. I'm not real picky. it's just easier. I don't like calling and talking to them, so I just order the roll. But the fan folder probably a little easier. They take up the same space, so I don't think it makes that big of a difference. Just the roll is a little heavy to start with, but
Well,
Yeah, that's a
Chastity
big
said
ass
that
roll.
the last roll she got from UPS kept jamming. There's a thing you have to do to all these printers when you're first putting a different kind of uh, roll in or fan fold in. You have to push the button down for 5 seconds and allow it to run the roll through and to kind of learn where the perforations are, and then it should work.
I never have to do that with my Zebra. It just works. But that's another thing about the Dymos. If you're getting a 4XL, don't get the 5XL. But if you're getting a 4XL, you still
yeah,
have to have the special Dymo labels. You can't use the UPS labels. So that's another deciding factor in what you might want to buy. I use a 4XL for travel only because I got it cheap at a yard sale. You know, $5 I think I paid for it.
Hey Larry, it's good seeing you this weekend, man. I didn't get to spend as much time talking. I ended up talking to Kevin, but there was a lot more people didn't go downtown this time. And a lot of people in the hotel. It was pretty cool.
Downtown gets old after you've done it a couple of times. At least for us. My wife does not like doing it. I don't care for all the
Yeah,
bells
I haven't
and
had any
whistles.
problems, Lottie. And the Jaden really is simple. It's a simple form. The way it opens and then closes flat, it really is hard. I haven't had anything jam in there, stick in there.
Mm-mm.
My biggest problem has been, making sure the label because it's heavy feeds. But other than that, I haven't had any problems with it.
And in worst case scenario with that big heavy label, you just peel the first 100 off and fan fold them, to feed it in there.
You
If you
can. That's
wanted to,
100% correct.
if that helped, if you're having troubles with that.
Or keep the old roll and then use one to hold it in the middle and just roll them up
Mhm.
on the old roll. Yeah, it's
I was
the
able to
old.
run the big roll outside of my Dymo 4XL even because there's a little tiny slot in the back. Not my Dymo, my Zebra.
Craig, it's because you're a simpleton. You can't use UPS labels with the next 4X Dymo. The Dymo label must have little holes in it because it reads the light. It reads the label based on
I
the
think
holes that the
Craig
light
already
comes
knows. I'm
through.
pretty sure Craig already knows that.
This is
Just
Craig
saying.
you're dealing with. You
Well,
never.
yeah, but
You can't assume anything with Craig, even though he is a tech person. You can't assume he could be having an ID10T error.
I don't even know what that is, and I know it's bad.
Okay, spell it out. ID10T.
Oh, see, I probably had the same error then. I get it now. See, it didn't take me long.
uh, yeah, when somebody explains it to you, it doesn't take long at all.
Because I'm an idiot.
Uh, yeah, I've got. Yeah, I've got. Do I have an ID PRT? I don't know if I've got one or not.
I like them. I mean, they're all made pretty much by the same
Same
factories and
people.
companies, and there's
Yeah,
some differences, subtle differences, but
yes. As I was looking through getting the links, a lot of the prices have not changed yet. You can't judge on the 4XL being so expensive because it's out of production, but all the
that
rest
little
of them are still the same price. So
that old e-yo-yo that I have works with an IDPRT driver, so that tells you that they're all made by the same.
what is there? Yeah, I saw Johnny as we're leaving too.
You're running a 10-second show. How much for $5 sales? What do you mean, Ron? How much do I make? I don't know. 8% is what Whatnot takes, right? And then 30 cents per transaction. So
Okay, so explain this to one of our esteemed panelists. Did you have any problems with getting the correct shipping amount on your hats? Like $4
Me?
a hat or something like that?
Well, because he's under a pound.
I don't have. I list my hats at
I
4 to
promise you,
7
you put that
ounces.
hat at over a pound between 1 and 5 pounds. You have no option but priority mail. It's
No,
920.
that's correct, but it won't be
Between 5
912.
pounds, yes.
It won't be 912.
It won't
So
be. Well, it will be to the buyer.
It'll be
921.
it'll be six something, I think.
No,
the first one you sell, it depends. So my hats I list at
Right.
4 to 7 ounces. I'm not sure what the shipping on that is. It's different for wherever you live, but once they get to a pound, then it gets up to that 912, I think, or 921, I think it is, and then it's that until they reach 5 pounds. You
right.
can get a lot of hats for 5 pounds,
But you're counting on
So-
that person buying multiple items. If they don't buy multiple items, they're stuck with 921 as what they're seeing
Well, no, they're seeing like $4 or $6 for one hat for a single
for a hat. Yeah, because it's under a pound.
because it's well under a pound. It's 4 to
Right.
7.
I have a theory on
So-
this one. I'm saving it till tomorrow.
I'd like to hear your theory. Maybe you can tell me after the show.
I don't want
But-
John to be prepared for it.
I actually
I
underweigh some
need
of-
his natural reaction for the podcast.
Oh, I actually underweigh some of my things because I know that my buyers are buying multiples. I almost never have a single sale on a hat, for example. So I make sure they're all 4 to 7, even if they're a little over on hats. And this time I did lots of hats. So if say I had it listed as 8 to 11 ounces for 4 hats, which is where they usually fall, but it came out to 12 or 13. I still listed it at 8 to 11 because people are buying multiples. So in the end, it all works out. I haven't had too much problems with shipping once I figured it out.
So Larry's got a good point here. Todd, when are you going to have your coming out party?
What? I did at the rally. Weren't
No,
you there?
Right. No, I wasn't there, but we've actually saw Mike's video. But what I'm saying is, now that you've exposed yourself for the world, then you should now join the
I
rest
don't
of
want to
us.
see him exposing himself.
That's right. I enjoy sitting here so I can scratch my butt and pick my nose and dig wax out of my ears and nobody knows.
So you're
Yeah.
cheating.
I wish I'd have thought of it.
It's a good system.
I do it with my whatnots. You never see my face on whatnot because it's easier for me to sit down and do that, especially on the hat shows. Now today you'll see me because I'm doing a clothing show and I got to hold them up
Yeah.
because you won't see. I can't get far enough out Zoom with the setup I have right now.
That's right, Sue.
All right, well, we're going to call this a day. Tune in to Steve at Jacob will be 12, Steve will be 1. These are Eastern times.
Eastern, yeah.
PPP this weekend. You got John. He'll probably have a video out before he goes live on Friday. Make sure you follow all these guys. I'll have a video out tomorrow because I'm committed to making videos no matter how dumb they are. Yes.
But all our clothes are going to start at $3 today, and there's a lot of good brands like Ralph Lauren and stuff like that has some resale value if you guys are interested.
I'm making videos like Kevin. I'm just going to talk you through them. I used to do that a long time ago, and I know I'm going to a couple of state sales tomorrow, so I'll record it. This state sale.
I like the format that you did with the one you just uploaded yesterday.
Shipping?
That was good.
I just got to clean up over there because it looks like
I fell asleep halfway through it, but so I missed half of it. But
When you start killing bugs and stuff, it's time to turn it off.
Did you see that damn tick? Oh my god!
I know you got Lyme disease now.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, he's gonna have to change.
Or
his
even
name to
worse,
Lyme
it could be
disease-
that
Lyme
one you can
disease
get that
picker.
protein where you can't eat meat. Have you seen that where ticks can give you that where you can't eat meat?
So it turns you into a vegan.
There's something about a protein in red meat that ticks carry. Some do that if you get bit by a tick carrying that, it'll make it where your body can't process red meat.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm looking yellow. What? I got jaundice. That's right.
from the tick.
I know it is. That was just weird. Because the only thing I'd done is walk out to the trailer to put through to get some things to throw away that didn't sell at the auction. I was like, turns me into a Democrat. I might have to check out if it does that. Hold on. What'd they do with it?
For more awesome content.